Hello, good evening, scribers and Famalan. The 16th of January 2019. Thank you for joining. I call you scribers. We removed the sub from the scriber, subscriber. You're all equal. Classify you as equal to myself. Some of you above in intellectual realms. So, SEXIT. Sovereigns exit. Indeed, they do. I'd like to say there's a lot to cover. Yes, indeed. Oops, accident. So I'm going to load up the screen now. Take off that. This is what I did want to start it like this. Me. I was going to go the S, the O, the V, the E, the R, the E, the I, the G, the N, the S, the O, the V, the E, the R, the E, the I, the G, the N, the S, the E, the X, the I, the T, SEXIT. That's where we're at. And that's because of my East London brothers, aka the Ganja Crew, and the Jungle Classic from my youth back in the day. Let's reminisce at risk of full public liability for my person. Once again, I bring you a classic heavyweight jungle. The S, the U, the P, the E, the R, the S, the H, the A, the R, the P. Good evening. We have liftoff. The O, the T, the E, the R, the S, the U, the P, the E, the R, the S, the H, the A, the R, the P. Going out to DJ Hype. The H, the O, the T, the E, the R, Super Shock, the S, the O, the V, the E, the R, the E, the I, the G, the N. It fits nearly. The O, the T, the E, the R, the S, the U, the E, the R, the S, the H, the A, the R, the P, the S, the H, the O, the T, the E, the R, the S, the U, the P, the E, the R, the S. You better be tapping or swaying. Sovereigns. He said funky. There was no graphic, explicit language used there. And while we're into broadcasting over the net, casting over the net, if you tune into a channel for the UK terrestrial viewers, you will notice that we have a channel on 128 Sky, and it is called 5, and it is a star. A star, and it has a program on this channel. The program is called Can't Pay, ? Will Take It Away. Started 49 minutes ago, has 11 minutes left of runtime at 8 p.m, which is what we call prime time, Wednesday the 16th of January. We're going to talk about that first, let me tell you. But first, I'll kiss the Queen. Good night, my darling. Yes, if you have access to that and you've ever seen that that commercial presentation that's broadcast into your front room, anybody that gets into your mind, that gets into your intellectual mind, your property or anything like that, then they have a privilege, and they are very privileged in doing so. So, you know, I appreciate and value the time that I get given. You guys listening, the Famalan, the scribers, scribing away there. I promote you, you promote me. It's a ever-flowing positive circle. Well, Big Barry and his peaceful entry for a civil debt, you know, and forcing upon private documentation. Let me take you through a scenario, okay? I sat down after a hard day's voluntary servitude, yes, intercourse commercially, and I was eating my chips and curry. And as I sat down, I didn't even pay attention to what was on. Hear that? Pay attention. Military and paying. I didn't pay attention to what was on the box there. What I heard caught my ear, and I heard the voices of Manchester men in vans going to a commercial property. Another kiss. Good night, Sarah Clegg. Szeretlek means I love you in Hungarian, just for those that don't know. And I went to this property, two men in a van, Manchester, and I heard them chatting, saying, "Oh, this man's in. They've been before 24 hours ago, and he couldn't pay, so they were going back. When they went back, he didn't answer the door." And that's a point where my ears pricked up when I heard them chatting. That was it, yes. And I heard him in the van chatting, but I didn't look up. Just thought it was a general program. And then yes, they went round the side and the side gate was open. So they proceeded with the cameraman because it's all, a story here. The 8 p.m. weekday, midweek, yes. They know you're in the mid of the week and everybody, relaxing after a whatever day. And yeah, you're about to go to bed in an hour or two. And this is where the subconscious programming gets put in by the Tavistock agenda. This program's on at this time for an exact reason of that. And we can prove this to you by their sick little games that they play. So we kind of indemnify you by this. And obviously, if you're listening and scribing to me, then you won't be watching that shite there. I apologize for the terminology, but that's the putting it at its best. They go down the side gate, which is open. You see, if that was bolted and got spikes on it and 5 massive dogs behind it, they wouldn't have gone down that side gate. If there was a notice on that, we'll call it property for want of a better word, there was a notice on that property and it was clearly, displayed and visible under the doctrine of notices and law. See public notices, lawful notices, and the doctrine of notices, which, funnily enough, lies at the heart of equity, according to a certain fellow there, which I might be inclined to agree with. So notice 1 would be all visitors seen strictly by appointment only, private property, trespass. And you give them details to contact an unregistered mobile SIM number or an email. And you put their private property trespass, yes, all visitors seen strictly by appointment only. And you may want to call for vulnerability and reasons like that. Not everybody is a big strapping man that can lock up the house and put 5 big dogs in the back garden and hold his own. We appreciate that, which is why we're here now. So 8 p.m, 5-star. I wonder how many points that star has got of 5-star. Who owns that network? Do some digging, scribers. Find out for me whom it is that's part of the program. I know they're all owned by the same man and blah, 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 but I just like to know. Just like to look at these things and see and dig a bit deeper and name and shame them. It's not very nice what they're doing here, this subconscious mental manipulation of your intellectual property, emotions and feeling, which ultimately may lead to some more deaths. If that leads to some more deaths, then somebody will be paying for that. They don't pay today, they might pay tomorrow. They don't pay tomorrow, they'll be paying in a week, a month, a year, 10 years, as long as it takes. We are relying upon the 100th monkey principle. Okay, the 100th monkey principle was brought to me by G-Star, the site technician. As I've said, this man is not just an excellent man behind the technical side of domains and .coms and so forth. I have lengthy personal chats with him, and we are indeed great brothers. Honourable, I'm honoured and privileged to have chats with this intellectual mind, peaceful, intelligent man of love and light. And yeah, we chatted about the 100th monkey principle and hence the 10,000 sovereigns target there. What if we get the 900th 10,000 sovereign? Consciousness actually starts to, actually, I'm not going to open, and do this and respond to that or react to that. I will be responding to it. And yes, it's truly sickening. So they go down the side because there's no big dogs there, and the side gate's left open. And yes, they go down the side and they find a back door open. Can you, Adam and Eve? Man's owing money out, hundreds of grams or whatever it is that it was in this case. And they've snuck down, open side passage into the back door. And they've given him a shout. Hey up, pal, how you doing? Like, what you doing? He's like, oh, we've come to get some money. He's like, get out of my house. He's like, no, sorry, we're in. And the subtitle said the officer, the High Court, the sheriffs made, I think they said High Court, they may have said, yeah, I think they did say High Court sheriffs have made peaceful entry And now they've located the residence, and it was actually a bloke saying it's my bird's house, and I don't live here. None of this is mine. Get out. And they're like, no, we're in now. And he's like, I'm going to give you 15 minutes to raise some money before we start repossessing goods. And I'm like, oh, there we go. There's the ghost talk, possessing, repossessing. How can you repossess? So you're telling me the big burly man that stood there that's gained peaceful entry with his mate and his GoPro camera and his muscles and his tattoo and his starry eyes and his stubble tattoo. Oh, wow. And his stab vest and that. Unbelievable. Why does my handset go off in the mid of casts? Let's put airplane mode on. It's my own fault. My own fault. The point is, that stood there in his stab vest with his stubble and his big muscles and everything like that, being intimidating now after gaining what we call civil peaceful entry. Well, if someone in there is vulnerable and there are issues there and they're not actually compos mentis or they're under doctors or medication or pre-existing medical conditions, then that man may inflict harm, injury and loss under common law. That's a problem. Do you know what I mean? And then, as I said, what was I saying before that as well about peaceful entry, gaining, how they get in there? It's a civil issue. He's got an order for taking control of goods. Goods are something you take to market. Repossession is getting hold of something that was initially yours. That's like us liberating various public offices and buildings and saying we have repossessed the Houses of Parliament. We have repossessed the Houses of Commons. We have repossessed the House of Lords. We have repossessed the Anglo landmass. Yes, these kind of sovereign thoughts of mentality. This is how you repossess, because they were ours, and now some foreign invading forces laid claim to them through non-deception, trust, language, words, dead things, necromancy, spell casting, etymology, fractionalized banking, and now mental intimidation via the conglomerate media alliance that are collectively allowing this to happen on a secret, a secret program that earns them money. So they're willing to inflict harm, injury, and loss on man for a contract of money. And they are portraying things in a dim view. Because as I said, the language and terms and things that they use for civil infractions. So this man may owe some money and he hasn't hurt anybody. It may be some money to an architect, if I remember. Okay, then. So, yeah, you've got your rights to take him and argue and do whatever. So this he's probably been dishonourable. But there's a way and means of doing business. There's a way and means of doing law, family. That's why the S, the O, the V, the E, the R, the E, the I, the G, the N, the S, the E, the X, the I, the T, the sovereign, SEXIT, the United Kingdom. We need acknowledgement on other issues that I've put in the title of this cast. I also want to say and put a pin in things a minute and just take a breath, because I do get passionate about this and I have got an element of control, structure and argumentation for everything here. This is a civil issue, all right? There is no victim. There is a claimant, and somebody's claimed something, and now there's a policy, and there's officers, and these things are happening. We'll go one further. It's someone's issued a warrant for an arrest. You end up getting detained because you don't know, or you do actually afford the public liability to your person and set them as the beneficiary for the fines, fees, forfeitures, arrest and everything. And the officers aren't trained and they're ignorant and they don't understand. Yeah, literally, they do not understand our sovereign authority, and they proceed to abduct, not kidnap, because we are not effing children. We are grown-ass, independent, self-governing, tripart, sentient beings of a nature of a quantum tetragrammatron entanglement of crazy autumn, whatever. So you can't beat that. You cannot get that. We are not subscribers. You are not subscribers. Man is not subservient. Okay, man. Wow. The things that are happening and what's going off, side to all of this is truly incredible. It's not all doom and gloom. You are kicking ass. The conversations that I'm having, the emails that I'm getting, what's happening on the .com, the feedback, the testimonials, we're moving, but so is the machine. And the machine, unfortunately, as I'm pointing out here, is run by all of them. And we are just us. and honor, integrity, due diligence, clean hands, and under the covenant with the Creator. It's quite prolific where we're at. And if you want to remain safe after March, at the end of, and you want to know for certain that you are outside of the UK corporate body and its mandated statutes upon them persons under 12 presumptions, or the assumption, I'll not say a number because I can't think now, I think it's 12, but don't quote me. Um, uh, yes, I accept no liability. This is just entertainment, and albeit being on a somber subject, I will interject some humour and some, love and light, as will you with your comments, and maybe Matthew in Sheffield, because I've just seen a missed call from him. So when I've done my rants, I will get back to you. If you're listening, Matt, I will take it off flight mode and get back in touch. I have rang you 9 times today, though, I do believe, and no answer. So you can wait patiently, my flower power. So yeah, Can't Pay Will Take It Away has stolen the show tonight, an infuriated man, and made me have to bring these important things to you. Civil issue, not criminal. What do you mean, Dave? Well, there's no victim. To be a crime, there needs to be a victim. Harm, injury, and loss under common law needs to have occurred. You don't do common law, Dave. You do trust and equity. No, I don't. I do all. I've told you they run parallel. It's applicable to me as it is applicable to the Queen, the diplomats, prime minister, police, everybody. Lords, noblemen, commoners, travellers. Common law travellers. Well, are they under common law or are they under something else? Because if you haven't been registered and you haven't got an effing person and you was born in a field and you've lived in that field and other fields on the Anglo landmass and man's never signed on, got a national insurance number, never been registered, what are you telling me now? You're telling me you're a dirty, horrible traveller like what they've been portrayed to be? Oh, travellers, they're no good. They're dishonourable, thieving little pikeys, God for nothing. Well, my dad's Irish, mate. My dad's got Irish lineage. The Hanlon is in the family, as I've said. So I'm like, I kind of like the idea of this. And I've got Anglo, Italian, Irish, and Greek, I believe, 4 quattro DNA lineages here. So, that's why I appreciate such things as Bosnian pyramids and traveling and lingual language mix up. So, very interesting, isn't it? Where we're at, what we're doing, and where we could potentially be, where we could potentially be. Let's have a look at some comments and get loaded up. I'll wander across this way. I haven't even started yet. I haven't even cut the cloth. Of so much to say. So much to say. Oh, wow. How many? 24 for SEXIT. Well done. Sexed it up. Yes, the travellers, though. We'll talk about them because, like I say, Pike is what's that film with a caravan and axles now? Bare knuckle, thingy champion, fighting champion with Brad Pitt. That was a good film, weren't it? Hollywood entertained us with that depiction of travellers. Yeah, accurate. You think he had an Irish accent? Did he not? It's not my fault. I'm not being stereotypical. Man's got Irish lineage. I'm not cussing my own bloodline or, you know Famaland there. I'm quite proud of that, that I'm mixed and not one, but ideally in the creation, you'd be purest as one. So I feel a little bit dirty, if you don't mind me saying. The bloodlines of the elite are not mixed, incredibly kept within the family. So the tribe is pure. You see, it's not just that we make stuff up and then say, oh, yeah, but it's only in books. These are following it. These are embellished in it. We're pointing it out. They're getting caught out left, right, and centre. Sex claims, scandals, drug claims, miscarriages of justices, resigning from the office. It's absolutely, I've never seen so much chaos. It's like a tornado of crap everywhere. Put a pin in, travellers. We're going to go and say hello for you giving me the time. John of the Middleton clan, Albert, Kevin, good to see you. Greetings and salutations. Yes, Kevin, we're going to have a daily chat, me and thee. I'm going to look forward to that. Jerry, son of Mick. Have to watch back later on night shift. Stay sovereign. Much love to you when you're in the morning. Future Jerry. Easy, brother. Much love. Respect. Servitude stinks. We all walk in central banks. We've got bonded, securitized certificates there that are worth millions. After 30 years, they're matured. Driving license, passports are all securitized and monetized and bonded. Any derivative that comes from that effing dirty, it's a birth certificate there. Well, anything that comes from that will be monetarized and bonded. The 30 years, I believe they're mature. That's where Steve McRae came in and came up with the thingy, fidelity.com. On with Matthew C4. Hello, brother. Luke, nice one. Easy. Home tab at Indigo. Do you watch Mark sail on Sri Lanka Sea? I have done in the past. I've got issues with that, man. We'll leave it there. Start of David, Saint John. Start of David, Saint. Start of David rants. Easy to Docker of the Dawson clan. Let's bide our time and then we can start the revolution for real when they default on the British people in non-democracy of England under the House of Windsor, Queen Elizabeth of Queen of England, Docker. Excellent statement, brilliantly put. You've sidetracked me there. That's a splinter that I didn't expect to see, but we'll roll back up to that in a bit. Let's put a pin in that one as well with the travellers and the sovereignty of our non-registered, non-legalized brothers that roam free. Mother, what? Yes, think about that. That's why they are so happy all the time. Sister Emma of the ward, Famalan, oi oi, long time no see. Yes, man has dissolved his Facebook trust and we have left Facebook. I cannot stand you, Zuckerberg, next to that lady there, Windsor, the House of Windsor and Queen Elizabeth. You're my second worst. You know, he is my second worst dirty man. Zuckerberg, you stink. You will burn for a long time. A long time. And that won't be enough. I can't get into Facebook and that, but I've deleted my person's account. We dissolved the trust, and we have got an interface called SPL's Space Pro on Facebook. You can find the updates and, you know, everything there, news and so forth. Malcolm, easy brother, long time no see. Hope you are well. I mean that from the bottom of my heart, sincerely. Truly good soul, and yes, a mature, established scriber of indie and the sovereign Famalan. Said hello to you, Emma. Yes, all right, David. Easy now. Oh, yes, long time. Gumshoe, just saw you at the bottom. How do? Yeah, so 28, thank you very much. We've got to cover the travellers. So then I'll go NHS, shortage of medicines. It starts already. I'm not scaremongering. It's actual, true and factual. It's a story that I heard today that they call news. Student loans, that's going to come under education and debt, and why we put our youth in debt to educate them. We're going to do well, aren't we? Let's put our youth in debt so we can educate them. But surely that'll impede the education. Well, it's not really education. It's only indoctrination. And, you know, the rich will pay for it outright, 60%, 40%. The rest of them, well, they'll have to struggle, won't they? You know, debt, suicide, drugs, misery. Oh, well, but, you know, they've all got bonds. Why don't we just let them have that? No. We've taken that. Don't even get me started. So, travellers, I would argue that these travellers, anybody that's a traveller, you've got my respect. I wish I was you. I wish I had your sovereign status, standing and capacity, because you have not submitted, you have not forfeited, you have not what else could I put? Submit, forfeit, represented. So I say sacrifice, but that's not a legal word. That's more ecclesiastical and your canon side of the buggery. Yeah, so you get my point. They haven't actually forfeited anything, submitted. They're standing in their dominion. If they was to evoke and argue, then you know, how would let's go a bit further then. All right, we've gone through the sovereign educational foundation level now of the guild, the workshop, the educational workshop, and we've released the civil judicial template. And we've done a lot of videos and backup with that on the .com and as sidelines on Facebook and with you, the scribers here. So we went through the officer and the boat people, I call them boat people, and how they stop, identify, detain, charge, arrest, take away, kidnap you. We used to call it. It's actually abduct. Yeah, it's actually assault and abduction. We would claim it as harm, injury, loss, a civil issue. And yeah, there's a process. You see, you get to the station, the police station, and you need booking sergeant. He would like to book you in. You're going to be sentenced. You're going to go to a hearing. Hear that? Book, sentence, hearing. Yes. And then you might go for bail, though. I get bailed. But then they're going to want to book you in. And when they book you in, or they book the man in and attach him to the person, this is a very tricky thing here, what they do, lest we not forget that the physical body goes in, but we're in a legal realm and you're in boat people's rules and realms and admiralty, yeah, amongst others, UCC, ecclesiastical bonding. So there's three things at play there already simultaneously, whether you like it or not. Yeah, you got you got a lot to go on. You got the boats, the admiralty, which is true. You can't argue that. You got the UCC commerce, how they're all getting paid and moving stuff around and intercoursing in the courts and everything. We've proven that. It's out there, point blank. And then, yeah, you got the cannons with the bondage, with the certificates and the CQV and the unum sanctums and the who's and the has and the whats and the, yeah. So on top of that, you've got a sovereign man. So there's a fourth thing into play now. Sorry, but there it is. And now they're trying to make all that work. You know what? Well, it's no wonder. You know, we couldn't fathom it out because it's too much. It's layered on layered on layered on layered. Yeah, and that's what we've seen and up to press without us reading the likes of the Moorish, which I'm lining up, talking to Stovilla as soon as he responds to my email. Man's got in touch, and me and Stovilla are going to go etymology. There'll be some singing, there'll be some loves and some smiles and some fist bumps. I will give you advertising for this. We will not do it randomly. You will get time. It might be on a Saturday night or something. We might go prime time and start programming our own little sovereign stars. You know what I mean? We might go Sov Star, 5-star, Sov Star, starting with Elohim Ra, Sov Star, Elohim Ra. Okay, yeah. This is how we're going to roll. We're going to bounce with the beats. The S, the O, the V, the E, the R, the E, the I, the G, the N, the S, the E, the X, the I, the T. Sovereign super sexy. The super sharp sovereigns with the super sharp shots. Blah. Oh, I love that music. Such a good vibe. That vibe's gone. Feelings have gone. Here's something for me to tell you. I'll give you a bit of a real true life story. And I feel a little bit embarrassed and whatever, but it's true and you'll reflect to it. Got some neighbours, got some new neighbours, and we was watching and looking, and they seemed all right, as you do, looking out and seeing how many children, animals, what type of car is it better than ours? Oh my God, they've got a better one, John, we need a new. Oh, you know how it is with the Joneses. Well, you get so. I haven't spoke to them. Been in about 2 weeks, but I don't think they've moved in properly. They're actually just decorating, scraping, blasting, sanding. They're doing quite a lot. So they've been there a week and they haven't moved in yet. You get me? So I'm out in the garden having a zigzag after work, talking to one of the scribers from the .com. And yes, interesting. He came out. Hey up, I'm Dave. Well, hey up, I'm Dave. He's got a beard. He's quite built like me. He's a bit bigger. I'll give him that. He's baldish head, beard, and Dave. I'm like, hey, up, I'm looking in the mirror here. It's a mirror image. It's across the fence. And we had a chat. Someone's blocked him in. He wanted to know whose car it was, if I knew whose that car was. No, I don't. But then he went away, and I was talking to brother Kev at the time then. Well, sorry about that rudeness, Kev, but yeah, neighbours and their, imposingness. But yeah, I said to Kev when I was chatting to him, oh, I feel really bad because, I haven't gone round and said, while I've been decorating, if you want a cup of sugar or want to, need anything and you haven't got out, then just give us a knock and we'll lend it you till you get set up. Is anything we can do? I'm David. This is Anne Marie. Blah blah. All of that. What's it? Orderly, honourable conduct between kin of man. None of that has gone off. And I says that's the first time I spoke to him, other than just hey up, how's they doing, going in and out. I said, and you don't want to stop folk and sheep, folk, people, brothers, family. I want to stop man from going about business and start chatting, especially when you meet, because you could be there 20 minutes. Me keeping you 20 minutes, that's what I'm saying, yes. And I says, but these days, if you offer anybody or if you offer man um, a little bit of compassion, kindness, sincerity. It's always 99 point or 95%, maybe 90%. We'll go for a 90. I'll be happy at 90. 90% of the time it's taken and it's abused. The kindness is mistaken for weakness. And we won't stand for that. It's just not sovereign. It's just not cricket. It's not honourable. So over time, the course of our devolution, we are being devolutionized right now. There is a devolution, I assure you, going off right now in front of my very mince pies. In this devolution of ours, where all brown people are going to explode and all white people are, angry, racist, whatever, alcoholic racist, cocaine sniffing football hooligans. And you've got the sex out there, or the Polish are stealing our job. The Europeans will not just limit the Polish, we'll go whole Europe. All of, EU rope is coming over here and taking duck dirt. I remember an old South Park episode where the village were doing that. They actually put it 10, 15 years ago, whenever a man saw that stupid show that distracted me, and I bought material for and N64 video games for and played them excessively. South Park. The Duckaderbs, the Duckaderbs, the Duckaderbs. And it was like so funny at the time, but that's us. What? They were making stuff about us and we were laughing at us, and we are in that classification of substandard, subservient, submissive. Your asset when born, not only are you born under, is man birthed, sorry, under contractions legally. Man is born and will always be born. They cannot change that. It's fact, but they can legally wrap it up in whatever Jedi mother dark shadow evil empire, Babylon twisted glyphy, capitalized picture form of whatever they want. Doesn't mean to say it's real and it stands. Well, when you're the Pope and you decree that, it kind of does. Okay, then rewind selector. It's just too much for me, fam. It's too much. Let me get my screen up. I'll go back to the comments and then I'll keep going bursts. I'll keep giving you bursts of the topics, and I'm going to want your feedback. You're going to want to be on the internet as well. Let's see. If you've got any questions, I'd ask them now, because I'm going to carry on ranting, say my stuff about the NHS and what I'm hearing on the news stories. And I'm going to ring Matthew in Sheffield and say, what's up, see if he wants to play the NHS. I'm sure he will. Volume down. News stories. Come on, my volume. It won't turn down. For the first time ever, my volume's broke. Wait. That's going to be awkward. All right. Here we go. We're off. You got a snooper. We all got a snoop in us. David, home. DNB, the best. Yes, it is. How do solves? Top chat. No, I want live chat. Where's Top Cat come from? Top Cat. Of the show. Live chat. Yes. Don't forget, if you're entertained, you like it, you find anything useful, give me a thumbs up if you wouldn't mind. Even if you've just found us and you're not a subscriber, you like the chat room and what we're saying, what's going off, then please Not please. Yeah, I don't mind. I'm not begging. I'm just being polite. I never please is viewed as a begging word when you write please in a notice. We don't write please ever. We would require and wish and require of, not please can you. That's a begging language, yes, when any of you read that. So, yeah, would you mind please thinking about considering subscribing, sharing, thumbs up, all that business. KB, I'll do. I think I sent you an email. If I'm right, I did. And thank you for getting in touch, sister. Job done. Job sorted. I'll give you more insight in due course once January is over and we've caught up. Maritime marrow from Brother John. In Chambers Dictionary, marrow, spirit, serpent, nop. Laugh out loud. The wanting Theresa May to resign, other contract, laugh out loud, resign, yeah, resign, made up of that. Well said. Etymology, the language, so it makes me sick. I'll sign up to the subs, bro, on another ban from Zucker. Love your work, respect. Oh, sister, thank you. Much love and respect to you. Yeah, I've just got principles, and the principles are 9/11. You sent that message. I'm just looking at the 3 1s and a 2. I was like, oh, 3 1s, but there was no 3, so we're all right. Yeah, principality. I can't go around saying, yeah, it's private. Private's the best thing to do. Everybody should be private. And certain corporations that are not a person, well, they are a fictional entity like a person, but they're not a person, they're not a man. Yeah, they are a corporate registered 2D fictional number registered with a corporate business consortium like Companies House, businesses, the government, the tax office, the registry, the inland revenue, and that's it. That's all they are. There's no government here at all. There's men in offices, yeah, in with titles. So John Smith goes to work in office as Mr. John Smith, the shadow secretary of or the Department for Work and Pensions CEO, and that's who John Smith will answer to. So Mr. John Smith, and that isn't who the Department for Work CEO is. So don't go writing round Mr. John Smith. I'm just just paraphrasing. None of this is advice. None of this is legal. It's just entertaining chat. Don't get that mixed up with nothing else, please. And yeah, when I say entertaining, when I talk about man in a dark black suit making peaceful entry for a civil issue, threatening you to seize goods within 15 minutes, otherwise, wow. And if there was vulnerable, weak, elderly, less able, anything like that in there, children, sick, do you think he would have respected anything? Do you think he's going to go away? Do you think you're going to get him out of there? Well, it can be done, as you've seen me, Andy, other videos of other mans around the realm doing that. Don't forget, I've done it via a telephone. I've not just done it physically in force with the verbiage coming from testamentary man in front of agent, and man is controlling agent, repelling, dispelling, discuss, disc and us. We are discussing now, we have a disc and us, and when the disc and us comes together, great things can happen. So we've done it physically, we've done it via letters. When we say done it, we mean further to our previous inquiries, we will no longer be pursuing this matter. Goodbye. And then we're looking at the damages side and the fee schedules to be cleared up now because you've contracted mother, and don't think about running off. He's going to just drop everything. You've caused damage. We've spent time. We're a corporation too, aren't we? Well, if your corporation spent money, surely a corporation can invoice another corporation. Ah, well, yes, that's right. When you realise the little bit of the technique they've given us, they're not just giving us a way out, they've given us a pathway to do what they do, lest we not forget that private fucking banks print money for our government, lend it our government, mother. Do you know what I mean? And then they get interest when these private banks, they print it on blank paper, yo. They get blank paper, Rothschilds, Rockefellers. I'm not going to go through the list of all the Jewish and American and international dirty little bank Scheisens and Misers and Kaisers that are out there, but they get blank paper. All right, it's got a pretty little watermark in it. I can get you some paper with a pretty, me and Smithy and whoever else can print pretty little sovereign notes and give them authenticity if you want, yeah, and say, I promise to pay. Oh, I promise to pay. I promise I'll pay. Shove your promises up your arses, May and Francis and EU and the UN and all of you little, dirty, secret, deceptive snakes of usurping mother. We've woken up. They've got to tell us, all right? The clock, the doomsday clock is at 2 minutes to doomsday. It was changed last year. You see the channel Indigo. Look at the latest video I've uploaded with those two names. I can only remember one, so I'm not going to say one without the other. But I've uploaded an important disclosure video that's got to be seen. It said it can be copied. I've disclaimed everything and I've credited the channel. Legally and lawfully, I am in honour, and I followed the request of the video producer and owner. Martin, I'm going to have to tell you, because it's one of the most insightful, best put together, accurate videos that I've ever seen. And I say that things are going off and we're waking up. That's like, it's kind of an understatement. Universal disclosure is what I gave it the title of. Martin Kenny and Norb Sufis, is that how you'd say it? CZUFIS. And they tell you in there a great many bits of information in 48 minutes and 43 seconds. The clock, doomsday clock, calendars, what's happening, when, whom, why, where, and it's well presented. The CGI and the presentation is second to none. The information it presents in that video is going to shock you. I've shocked you. We're not by meaning to, but by what we've discovered and found out through our due diligence discovery and giving the disclosure, the true disclosure, putting it into effect, going out there and actually doing the work as well. Going out and traveling, meeting, getting the evidence, making seminars, putting it together, doing the publications, building the websites, printing the t-shirts, wearing the t-shirts. You know what I mean? There's not much more we can do now except say to you that if you haven't noticed, there's a whole lot of systems running simultaneously. Don't forget about them 4 areas of law that I said. You've got money and religion on top of that as well. We've got ecclesiastical and canons and admiralty and maritime and UCC. Then you've got religion. Then you've got money. There's more to that as well. We can keep going if you want, but I just want to keep it. I know you have a saturation period. In the beginning, when I started doing videos, I just had nothing but love and anger and information. And it came out in random bursts of that. And it wasn't controlled, and it didn't have direction. It didn't have structure. It didn't have stability. It wasn't built intelligently. I didn't loop back to stuff. I forgot stuff. I rambled, and I can't believe I actually got more and more views and subscribers. But now things are different. It's amazing what developments we can go through, we can put through together. These guys, what they're telling you here is about the event. It's telling you about many great things. So, I give up with the clean hands part. There's a few years left at best of normalness. And then I think we will go to a point where there will be no return. Do you hear me? There will be no return. This machine is working very well. So far, we're allowed to broadcast speech, go out, and I am under a little bit of an attack. I don't mind telling you, I am noticing some things and having to heighten things, and it's not funny. It is not funny, let me tell you. And yeah, we're doing well, but you know what? I don't know how long. And yeah, I'm seeing that the NHS. Let's move on because I'm going to ring Sheffield in a minute and see if he picks up. I'm seeing that the NHS are getting medication. When I say I'm seeing, I'm hearing from multiple mainstream news sources. Now, is mixed up, wrong information, a bit like the Gulf War, where they said Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction and he could launch them and get a nuclear attack anywhere in the world in 40 minutes. And we turned out he didn't have weapons of mass destruction and he couldn't get a rocket of nuclear capacity to detonate anywhere in the world within 40 minutes. Whoopsie. Sorry, everybody. We got that wrong. What? What? You got that wrong? What? Really? You're shitting me. You are shitting me. You are really shitting. No, it's true. Okay. And you assured us that you had the evidence. Congress assured us they had the evidence. You had everything. That's just one thing there that just like, so this place tells you stuff and it leads you down and it does it on purpose. Why? Because as we said before earlier in the video, they're all friends, they're all related, they're all on the same payroll. They're essentially, there's only 7 massive families that run everything on earth. I'm like, what do you mean there's only 7? Allegedly 7 massive families starting from the one of and working their way down. I'm like, but that's not equality, is it? Surely we should. That's what's killing us all. The fact that there's greed and that the seeking of money, the pursuit of money is the root of all evil. But we're all pursuing money when the Son of God, we'll say God, not the Creator. We'll pick these very carefully now. But the Son of God died for man's sins. We're all going around saying, whilst we're getting that wrong, we're getting around money is the root of all evil and getting that misconstrued and wrong. And it's like, okay, then, so Jeebus, he died for our debts. Newsflash. What? I know. Yeah. Ooh, imagine that. And then, not the sins, as often said. And the pursuit of money is the root of all evil, which is why we have these conglomerate, greedy, there should be a law. Once you get, and when I say law, I actually mean law, like a commandment, an agreement of a universal, level of man. But once you've got to X, that's it. That is it. Game over. You've got enough. Yeah. Or we don't have it. There's 2 options here. Let's stop the starving and the homelessness and the ones out there in the cold, in the wind, when Big Barry's come and he's shoved them over and they've got everything going off and they're not criminals. They're not criminals. You can lose your home in a week. You will take 5 years to get back to where you was in that week. So in the blink of an eye, essentially, your life's gone. Everything's gone. You've got nothing. You've got absolutely squat. You're not a criminal though. You've hurt nobody. But the system says you've got to pay your debts. But your debts are already paid because you're bonded and you've got your millions in your certificates. And if you use your thumbprints and your autograph, you can discharge them. But why didn't anybody tell you that? Why? Why didn't they? Why hasn't this been sorted out? Why haven't we got a .com with all this on? Why isn't there a splspro.com already? Where's getoutofdebtfree.com gone? What's happened to that? How does that look? Is that working effectively? Has it developed and functioned as you would expect? Has it delivered groundbreaking case law making news articles and help? Yes, well, everything's contrived, everything's controlled. There's a limited amount of time, and I'm thinking a lot. I'm worried a lot. And this scaremongering that the news does, yeah, swine flu, yeah, terrorism, Bin Laden, I'll go on, the Cold War. There's loads of stuff that they said. Getting the weather wrong, the War of the Worlds, the whole of America, not the whole of America's, but a majority of America's running around because of a radio broadcast of a fictional story. I'm telling you, putting poisonous chemicals in medicines and giving us cancer instead of curing it and going, oh, sorry about that. Turns out chemotherapy is actually carcinogenic. It turns out radiotherapy is actually carcinogenic. Sorry, it turns out that the flu jab's actually carcinogenic, but it makes us a bit of money. We used to use plants, but that was far too cheap. We didn't make enough money, and you could all do it, So we had to kill the natives, bury the evidence, and synthesize the shit out of everything whilst we're bombing the freedom out of the rest of it that doesn't have a central bank. But it's a big secret. Now we put up with this. You know how much you're going to put up with. I, for one, as you can tell, I told you when I come back from Hungary, man's a changed man. After that continent nearly killed me and the family 5 times. 5 times I saw my life flash before my eyes in 4 weeks. That's an average of nearly dying once a week for 4 weeks. You want to play that game? I trust you now. You don't. You don't want to nearly die once, let alone 5 times. Stupid little contrived legislation, road laws, time management, weather conditions, aggravated drivers, drivers with no consideration, just absolutely everything and anything, Arguably, driving across Europe is going to be a challenge. I accepted that. But you don't expect man to turn on man like that. Just because you're behind the wheel and encased in a tiny little metal skin doesn't transform us into anybody. doesn't make us superhuman. It doesn't give you the power of 10 ghosts, like he did on that show, The Ghost of What calls forth the power of. You're not got 9 lives like a cat. You're not going to be being reborn anytime soon. Your face spread across the central motorway, the M1 of your national landmass. So there you go. But I've drifted slightly. I will get to the chat room, and I do want to ring Sheffield. Um, the NHS is getting medicine in short supply. It's 18 months out, in its into date, i.e., medicine's arriving. It used to be coming to the shelf and having 3 years shelf life. Now it's coming in, it has 18 months. And it used to be 80 pence, but now it's £5.80 because there's a shortfall. What's coming out to do? Yes. Are we okay? Just 1 minute, checking on the family on the screen. Yeah, I'm back. All is well. We are good. Yeah, so I hear multiple stories. Medicine should have 3 years on it. It's actually got 18 months. Used to be 80p, £2, and now it's £5 to £10. Why? Because the global corporate intercourse market there can dictate prices. Running a business is just having a license to bum somebody dry. And I use that term, not a lot. So you see, I really am serious and annoyed about this system and how it's got commercial grips upon our health, on our estates, on our intelligence, on our basically everything. So I don't know how you feel about that, but the NHS will now be paying 5, 6, 10 times the amount for the standard medication. We have a government in place here that have failed. Yes, Lords, Parliament, Commons, all of them. Theresa May, Elizabeth sitting back and watching this happen, everyone, by the way. The Queen, she's not blind. She's got her advisors. She knows everything. It's her Parliament. It's her army. Her Majesty's police. It used to be, and sorry, excuse me, John Peel, who invented the police. Don't forget the Peelian, Sir John Peel, the Peelian Code of Policing. The police have a policy they follow for a private corporation. Okay, that's their policy. They follow it because they are the authority. The authority is an author, itty. The author, itty, the authority. Etymology. Stovilla, can't wait to meet you, fam, and get you on the channel. And so the authority work from what? Well, an author is a book writer, a book, author, book, hearing, sentence, you get me? So the police, they operate from the authority. So the authority is a written man's words in pages, which is public code, but it's also policy because they are private corporations. Dirty again. So you got all the laws mixed up. You got the private corporation with its policy operating with the statute code from Westminster, common law. Yes, obviously, they're trained in that. They're trained in all of the acts and the codes and the infractions, and they know a bit about common law, and that's it. That's all they know. They know common law and all of the, well, not all of them, but the public side of it. They operate under policy, but they also operate under the Peelian Code, police code from Sir John Peel, who made the police. He didn't make them all, like fabricate them in a little shed and pop them out like Peaky Blinders or something, but So when we reference law, they won't know what that is because they're not trained in it and they don't understand it. They really don't. And so therefore we have to go through the painstaking way of pointing this out to the policy enforcers. Policy of government, Westminster, for the persons and citizens, for the combatants. So your lieutenants and attorney generals and all these ones in the army that we've pointed out are there to control us. So because you're naughty little infantry, the bullet catchers, the peasantry, the infantry and the generals are running amok. Yeah, it's having a circus. They're having a Piccadilly circus. They're having a circus. Birmingham's got a circus somewhere. It was closed. Paradise Circus. Circus. Discuss. Circus. Cuss. Us. US. Ending of words. Interesting. Bit of a clue. Santos says the English language is there, laden with the evidence that we just go looking for it. It's like a treasure trail. It really is. I'm going to go for comments. Once it loads, so SEXIT as sovereigns exiting the UK. That's the only way that I would see security is if status standing capacity, everything like that is corrected. Declarations of independence, of peace treaties, expressions of trusts and types of trusts, and getting this moving. We've got basically 8 weeks. I'm sure in 3 weeks we could get most of this done, but yeah, I need ideas. I need inspiration. I'm trying to inspire and put out what we see and how we see it, how best to defend, and all the different things that are out there currently now that you can take advantage of, but soon it'll all be gone. When I say it'll be gone, it'll be rights have been superseded. It's will you will have lost them. Student loans, I've talked about that. They come under the rights really, and rights before I go to Sheffield and comments. Scribers, if a society or civilization or man ever charges his blood, assets for education, it's a very slippery slope. And, you know, how much debt that's being created here by the education and limiting it to the ones that can afford it. Okay, they give you a loan and whatever, but it's still, you know, it's not common, not common, but easily accessible for all. It's not equal. It's not fair. There are privileges there. It's not set up properly. Um, and it's just wrong. Student debt is wrong. It's all wrong. There was a time where I believe everything was a universal because we live in a you and I verse. Is it Rasta? What you said to me before Christmas? You and I verse. When I said universe, and you get chapter and verse, you get verses in the words there, words with verse, and yeah, it's interesting how we see it and how it is. And when you step back and you just have a little bit of a look, you find, yeah, how could this be? How could we have put up with this? It isn't right. And everybody knows someone who's in trouble, I dare say. Everybody knows somebody who's got a financial issue, got a financial burden, has got one, you know, living off the credit cards and things like this. Again, where these banks don't lend any money, it's only credit. That's why it's called a credit card. It's not called a money card because that's why it's not a money card. It's a money order. It's a postal order. It's not a money order, but it is a money order. But it's a postal order. It's a postal order through the post. A credit card is a card with credit. A bank account manages accounts which are accounts of, which contain numbers and digits. They operate on credit. The dog's out. We're going to get barks now. I guarantee it. I'm going to go off flight mode. We're going to try Matthew. Let's go. It's been a while. Stand by tube, and then I'll get comments. Here we go. Stand by. Ringing in now. Let's see. It's potluck. It really is. Hello. All right, Brian. I'm on tube. Do you fancy putting in your 10 penneth like? Are you busy? No, Are you busy? Shall I call you in a bit, or do you want to chat? No, you can rant. That's why I'm ringing you. I'll put you on speakerphone. You're on speakerphone. It's on. How's it doing, like?
Oh no, he found YouTube on somebody. Ooh.
I'll give you a disclaimer. I've told you. You're on now. It's your time to preach. What's on your mind? What's on you? Is it just me or?
There's too stuff I can't say today. Stuff, I just can't say. Yeah. But there's loads of other bollocks that I can say though. Don't know what you on me. What you been chatting about? How long you been on? How are you?
I am good. Thank you very much, brother. I've been on about 45 minutes, an hour in my mind. So yeah, and been talking about quite a lot of stuff actually. The topics were I was talking about an interesting one that I want to emphasise is that travellers aren't licensed as such. I mean, they may be born in a field and they may never have a birth certificate, and so in my mind, they're like true sovereigns because they've never submitted or contracted or signed, and the state doesn't have a title of theirs to claim at all, and these guys running around depicted as poor, backward. I've got Irish blood, so I'm not in any way having a go. I've got love for all continents and my family and bloodlines. But like the Carry On films depicted the Romans and how they were drinking and having sex and whatever. Total bullshit and lies. You've got these like the travellers with their sovereignty depicted as lesser men when really they're kings in my mind. Would you say?
The Romans were having sex.
I know, but they didn't. I doubt they had a life like was put on the Carry On films.
Oh, they freaking did. I mean, you've seen Pompeii. It's just that Pompeii was an actual whorehouse. Can't believe they told us about Pompeii. It was a massive city whorehouse. But anyway, what we're going to say?
Travellers.
No, we're all sovereign, and them contracts that people think that they're bound to are not bound to because no full disclosure ain't given. And it's just a big blag. If somebody says, right, I own all the world, does that mean they own it? If me and you say it, no. So it don't matter who says them kind of words. They're only given credence by what if you... Oh, he said we must think it. Who gives a shit what he said? You know what I mean?
Paper proclamations, eh?
Well, but and we're all sovereigns anyway. We're all same. Call it what you want. You put any name on it as you want. But yeah. And laugh about is no problems in the world. All the systemic problems. This day and age, all you should need is your thumbprint and got enough technology to feed the world 50 times over.
Man-made scarcities, yeah, that's right.
It could be
billionaires everywhere, yeah.
I bet you it could be 3 worlds right next to right next door to ours, and they'll all be starving. We could produce enough food to feed this one and all them ones as well.
If we put our minds to it. If we automated it, if it was automated maybe, and enhanced. Yeah.
Use technology for good. It's going to be used for bad otherwise. It's just mental. That's what I say. I see it every day, and it's I'd say it's depressing, but you have to laugh at it. I just laugh at the stupidity of man. No, I'm a bit like George Carlin. I put this in our equation. You'll not do what you want. I'm just going to sit and watch. I know what's possible. So if you think that you need money to make a machine, you're a retard. You're in condition. You're not right in head. The idea, the plan, the design comes from inside the designer's head, and then an engineer does it all. They're only doing that because they've been blagged into thinking that if they build a wicked machine, they'll get money and then they'll get access. When they could just cut all the money people out.
What about when technology is needed in commerce? They get the most cutting-edge, high-tech technology man could ever see. But when it's needed for schools and hospitals and road safety network management, we get nothing. We get the absolute bone shaker.
they've got to keep the illusion of needing a job going. That's why they haven't fully. They could have fully automated the world about 30 years ago.
Exactly.
You know,
I know.
Probably more than that, probably.
Look at Nikola Tesla's wireless technology and no unlimitless power from the ionosphere above that's electronically charged. And they went no to that. They said no to that. They went, no,
anyway,
we want the monies.
Capacity,
Yeah.
if you discharges and charges, you can harness that. It's you can fill a big hole and graphene rope and transfer it up and create steam.
Jack Fresco, Venus Project. You've mentioned Jack Fresco, Venus Project numerous times, and now others are latching on. I've seen other channels talk about it. It's too slow. We could have had it. But
I don't mention it. That's all I want to talk about.
there we go. I've brought him on track. We're on track now. On track to Jack.
That's all I'm bothered about. They were I think he was some general. I think he might have been a Muslim general. And it was regards to when they were at war, and he basically said it. You're not talking about the war, and I have to talk it out. Don't talk to me about it. And I thought that was quite a fun little thing, you know. But yeah, we're living in a illusion.
We're living in a box, baby. We're living in a cardboard box.
We're living in a piss funny illusion. All you've got to do is look at what politicians say, look at what all law people say, and then just go and have a look at technology. You know what's available, what's about,
yeah,
and you'll soon see you're living in illusion. You know what I mean? I'm in England and I'm eating food from Peru.
You lucky man. What are you eating? What is it? Let me guess.
It'll be some fruit, I can't remember, but I like to look where all this food's coming from, and I'm thinking, so logistically we're distributing food around the world.
Did you buy some basil from somewhere strange, or oregano or something?
Basil that you can grow in England, it was from right far away, I can't remember where.
Morocco or somewhere, Spain.
It's just stupid. We can logistically distribute food everywhere, so it's only that.
You could send food rockets if you wanted to. You could send a food rocket instead of filling it with uranium. We've discussed this before. We could get rockets of chocolate, food, sugar, honey, ginger, garlic, whatever you want.
I seen some the other day. It were on about ice caps melting, and they were on about CO2. Drilling that old conditioning in. And I thought, well, what about all these spaceships? So shouldn't technically, when what's his name, Elon Musk fires a thingy as a publicity stunt and shoots a car into space? What did he get it up there with? How much fuel did that use? How much carbon emissions did that kick out? Don't give me no shit.
Oh, yeah. So they've punched a massive hole potentially in the ozone layer, the stratosphere and the ionosphere and all of the spheres allegedly on the planes. And yes. And it was for what? Just for fun. So humanity and the realm have suffered a punctured lung, we'll call it, or something there for fun.
CO2 warming it up, and not. That's what I'm about. It should be sent a bill. So these countries, third world countries, are getting it with sanctions and stuff. If they're using coal plants that we've sold them.
Yeah. Oh, dirty fuels under the Paris Agreement. Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Why not declare all the world's resources common heritage? Because then there's no power structure, that's why. Because then there's no people. They're just crack addicts. Money and power, crack addicts. That's what I see when I look at Saudi royals or English royals or any royals or elite. Hey, some fucking crackheads there. Look at them. No difference to crackheads, scruffy crackheads that you see that are actually addicted to crack. No difference at all. They look smarter and they wear goofy and they're fine time, but they're crackheads. So, no other explanation other than they're proper addicted, because all these people that own all these companies, they automate stuff so they know exactly what technology is capable of. They're the fuckers that fucking blackball it or AOK it or buy the patent and put it on a shelf.
Yeah, I know. It's like with this. I've called this hangout SEXIT, SEXIT, And that's because sovereigns are going to exit the United Kingdom because we have persons and citizens in the United Kingdom under these assumptions and presumptions and proclamations of I own the world, the souls, the property, and etc. And the way I wanted to hang this hangout was with the travellers and their on no legal bondage, ecclesiastical bondage or anything, and the fact that the people and the citizens of the United Kingdom have got a very bleak future ahead of them when their government, for the last 2 and a bit years, have failed to prepare any kind of optional plan for the exit of the European markets and becoming, whatever it's going to be, independently trading again is the whatever wealth of commonness or whatever you're going to call it. And it's like, so if we're all that scared about this, that, the other, and the NHS are getting medicines that are less than the half of the shelf life date in, and they're paying 5 times the amount, and they've been doing that for the last 18 months. The NHS
Dave,
are struggling to get medicines. It's
Dave,
like they're trying to, the way I ain't finished, they're trying to scare and panic the middle class now. I see what the game is afoot here. It's a bit like today. I started the cast as well, other than SEXIT, Brexit, and this scaremongering with 5 Star. That's right. It was the Channel 5 with the name Star after it, and it had can't pay, we'll take it away. And Big Barry's got in making peaceful entry at 8 p.m., 20 past 8 on a prime time TV. And I just happened to catch it be on. And I had some comments to make about that with the vulnerable. I said, if that was a family that had a less abled member there and a mum was upstairs, having a bath, or so they were vulnerable basically. And Big Barry's got in through an open door and is vulnerable. They don't care, these guys, and they've got a bad attitude. The way that they put this on at 8 o'clock at night, programming the mind. You go into bed at 9, 10 o'clock. You don't need to be seeing men dressed in black invading your home. You don't need to be hearing stories about your local NHS care provider trust struggling to get medicine. And when it gets it, it's half its shelf life and they've paid 5 times the amount for it. There's a lot of shit going off here, brother, and feel free to comment on any of it.
it's all going according to plan.
Oh, yes, it is going to plan. That's what I told him. It says it's a well-oiled machine, and we've only got a limited amount of time before the rest of these options are steadfast shut. And it's just, yeah, there's a ticking
It
clock with
doesn't
two.
affect. It
Ooh.
doesn't affect us. It just doesn't affect you. What affects you is what you let affect you. Nobody gets together. Everybody fucking backstab each other. Everybody's out for themselves in the monetary system. I'm all right, so fuck it. Yeah, but you might not be tomorrow. But it's just,
Yeah, you might not be tomorrow, and that's
there's
the
no
thing.
education and there's no thought given to getting rid of the money system. Anybody talks about it. I heard somebody, there was some news knobhead saying something about something, and the news broadcaster said, "Yeah, but where will you find the money?" There was some politician, giving the false promises, what they always do. Well, if we got in power, do this and this and this and this, and unfortunately, we've got the same fucking boss who pulls the purse string, so we won't do any of the shit that we're going to say we're going to do, but you'll go and you'll fail like you've took part. Fuck me.
A bit like Clegg did that with Sheffield. I'll reference a factual now, substance
They
over
all do
form.
it.
Yeah, I know they do
All
all
of
do
them
it, but
do
I
it.
remember a time when Nick Clegg made promises as a Lib Dem, was he? He Lib Dem, is that right? And he didn't do it, and they all went and put stuff outside the office going, "You've let us down," and of the Sheffield Lib Dems office or whatever party he was
It was
with.
students. It was students. You only because
Yeah,
it was students, they could be hard to go and
he
actually put
conned
some
them
out.
all. Yeah, they conned them
Everybody else
all.
done.
I
So
remember
I
that.
just get up, me. I
Yeah.
get up, I go to work, and I just, you know what I mean? Nobody's going to sing it. Nobody will. They need to talk about how you'd implement things. That's the shit that there should no Brexit deal that needs to be fucking done.
It's all about money.
Where in
Money's
the world's fucking resources, common heritage? That's what needs to be done.
a
Just fucking
universal, a universal non-sectarian remedy for all, and declaring the world's common, resources, common heritage would be a good way to start.
common heritage, everything's open source. There is no fucking government. All this AI that everyone's scared about is fucking here and it's going to be used to fuck you.
Oh, listen. The AI, we've talked about this, about the letters. Tell them about the letters. They're not even from. Go
It's a
on,
beautiful thing,
go on.
AI and all that,
Yeah.
but it's how it's put to use. But Oh, fucking everything's automated. I didn't pay fucking TV license for forever, and then it got quite funny because I noticed that it's all automated every year at Christmas. They send you the same one, and then at certain months it spits out the same. Nobody behind that. Nobody behind it. His name on letter, but there's nobody behind it. That was a machine that did that.
Yeah, and what I was talking to with Greg, the website technician, was that he and I have noticed that there's a system out there that's running that could be used in a different way to manage. Like when we talked about a GP, when any of us go to a GP and we tell them we have a problem, and it might be a very serious one, it might be a life-threatening one, and they will treat you and give you whatever. And then they leave the ominous back on us. We might not be very well, we might not be thinking straight, but they leave the ominous back on us to get back in touch and follow everything up. And they don't like have a, like what did you say, Matt, about the car? When if it was somebody that was running a business,
I was going to say, I said that
go
to
on,
you about. I said
carry
that to you
on. There we go. That was a good one.
that's yeah. I said it to you about it.
Right,
You
now
know,
we've established you've said it. What did you say?
people should be rung up, but you can't have that in this system because it'll be just used as a way for drugs companies to push drugs. Oh, you've got to come in for your jab and this, that, and other. You'll be just used as a cash cow.
What we was talking about was that
But
there's
in
a
a proper
system.
system, in a proper system, you'd have health checks. You'd be called in, and you know what I mean. Everything, your blood would be tested. Everything, not to use against you, to check for things so you get on it early. I think you need more potassium. Do you not eat any fucking bananas or drink any coconut water? No, you know what I mean. But in this system, it's I think you need more potassium. We've got some tablets for that. Not go and eat bananas and incorporate coconut water into you. You know what I mean? No tablets because
They do call ladies in for smears though, so they can check for cancer to see if they need
it's
any
not just
expensive.
smear. It's like a fucking mammogram thing where I never knew that. I knew what women go for and thingy, but Jesus, they put their breast
Yeah.
in a machine. They
Yes.
put I forgot how many pounds per square inch pressure down on the breast. You know what's that going to do? You know what I mean? Rupture stuff. Even if there is a little something that your body's taking care of, that's going to rupture it, spread it all around your. Oh my god.
Yeah. And biopsies do that. Whenever they take a biopsy, I've seen that everybody who's had a biopsy has had an explosion matter of hours to weeks after the biopsy because what they do is they
Yeah,
say,
whenever
let me finish. What they do is they say, we need to take a sample of the area, and they go in and they make an incision and they inflame it, and all of the cells start separating off and breaking off. And then they go from benign to malignant and start traveling around the body and attaching elsewhere. When really, one's
when
the
they cut it,
yeah,
when they
yeah, I
cut
know it's
it.
insensitive. I'm not trying to bring up memories and that, but it's an important thing. It fucking is, mate, because they know what it does every
When they cut
time.
it,
They
I've seen
know.
it what it did to my sister, but now that Russian bloke said it as well. He said same. When they cut it, that's when it spreads.
And when you
It's
put things like baking, so I remember one of the first YouTube videos I ever saw was one from Matt that was a bloke from a lecture that had been taken the 3 hour video. They'd made a little excerpt of a 6 minute, 8 minute video on another channel, and they said cancer cured with baking soda. I remember that video with the little pink thing in. I'll never forget that. And that's what that video there is what got me into YouTube. I went, that can't be real. If that's real, and it's as simple as a 10 pence mix and
I
that
remember sitting down on that settee
what
trying to show you stuff
what
and thinking, you know what I mean? Dave needs to see this. He needs to see
I'm
this
glad you
shit.
did because I've formed a pro.com. I've got some remedy and equity, and you've done so much. The journey's been incredible. And now we're kicking ass for the Lord. The beacon is on. The quantum forces are at work. The nurturers, the alphas have actually awoken, and the doomsday clock is at 2 minutes to doomsday, everybody.
I'm just
2020 is the year. There's an event coming. I've posted a video on the channel about the what events coming and the astrotheological alignment of the interplanetary celestial objects that all go into a line on December the 21st, 2020. The
I'm
Malayan
hoping.
the
I'm
Malayan
hoping.
calendar. Wait, the Malayan calendar said there was allegedly this is I don't know for sure, but it is depicted that 2012 was the end of an astrotheological sequence, and the doomsday clock was amended on January 2017, February 2017, to 2 minutes, from 3 minutes to 2 minutes to doomsday. And further research from that video that I've posted, that I've promoted today, says that in 2012 was the end, and there's a 7 year something like probation warning system, which 7 and 12 is now 19. And he said in December 21st, 2019 is actually when all the planets, well, funnily enough, line up, and it aligns with this original calendar, not the calendar we use now, and its predictions. I'm like, oh.
Look forward to some blood sacrifices. Then if they don't any of that shit, they love that. All that fucking.
Well, there's an event, yeah, and look, bro.
Only thing that we've got in store, people of this world, is riot, chaos, famine, hunger, death, violence.
Well, it's Hollywood. What you're doing there is Hollywood. You're like kind of depicting Hollywood there with a film.
I'm telling you what's coming. That's what they've got planned for us. What they've got planned for themselves is different. It's called Big Pimping.
ISS Big Pimping, out of there.
But you ain't going to protect, I don't care how rich you are, you ain't going to protect yourself when the whole neighbourhood's emptying out onto the streets in search of food. Just basic food. I'm not even talking about robbing your money and nothing. Feeding themselves. Well,
it was written in the, wait, look, can I just, it was written.
So what I'm saying is, because let me just finish, because when they shut down the supermarkets and stuff like that, and the production and the logistical chains and the all these things, the people won't have the brains. The people won't have the brains to see what's happening and to say, fuck that. We work there. We are the logistics. We are the drivers. We transport all this food and keep everything going, you see. You know what I mean? They'll listen to people with more money than them, not cleverer than them, not better than them, just more money, more access. They'll listen to them and they'll not do that driving job. They'll close factory, or they'll walk out of factory going, what we're going to do? And you'll get good people doing bad things.
We haven't got any inches. Sorry. We've run out of inches.
Rather than everyone hooking up and saying, you know what I mean? Because we'll try to turn the internet off, and rather than people going, what the fuck? That's what I mean. People have got not a fucking clue what's about to happen to them.
There was a story. It was written in the Bible. It is written in the Bible about, when I said about, I've referenced a story of past of the city of David, Jerusalem, attack of the Roman army, closing its doors. But I didn't reference the part where it is written that the mothers allegedly ate they chose which son they was going to eat to live on, because they closed the city doors, city of Jerusalem, when the Roman invading colonial empire came across to kick it, because Jerusalem beat it once. You're not going into all that again now, but then they came back, and so what they did is close the city doors, everything, so the Romans couldn't get in, but food and commerce and everything stopped, like America closing its borders now. I was referencing Trump, and I was referencing a biblical story of which happened, and it's written, and you can go and you can go and reference it. But the sad thing is that it's written that the women chose which child they was going to kill to eat. You know, I'd have starved or been vegetarian. The fact that that's written, and that man allegedly ate their own. There's no way. That's a writing of a sacrifice, is it not? Because they were sacrificing the young. What? But wait. Last bit is, you and I and all the scribers of this channel, we would rather die than eat one of our blood. There, I finished.
Truly. Yeah, I'm just saying, but people are thinking, but what about people that are starving at the moment in Venezuela and shit? Nobody in all the other countries in the world have said, right, we're not going to eat out until Venezuela's got some food to their government. Not one country.
What, a whole country go on? What are you proposing? The whole country could go on hunger strike to say, or work strike? No, maybe because hunger strike would cause harm in a way. What about going on work strike?
They could do loads of things. The point is, people don't do shit. That's what I mean. There's people at this very second, as we're talking about this, you know what I mean, nonchalantly, that comfortable, belly full, There's people
We
fucking.
know that. That's why we're chatting. That's why we're having an intelligent,
I'm just
articulate
saying
chat
it
about.
frustrates me, and nobody
It does
seems
me.
to.
It does me as well. You need to calm your anger, brother. Take the
But
anger
seeing
in.
things like that
Channel
makes me
it.
sick.
Channel
It
it.
makes me sick. I try. I do what I tell everybody I see on me, but I'm not very social, so I could do
It's all
more.
good. It's all good. I've chatted with Andy quite a bit, and you haven't been on. And I've tried to ring you the other day when I was on a hangout just to keep the balance and yeah, see if you wanted to add anything of current events and what your feelings are at the minute, your development. And I'm glad that you are available. There's no
Yeah,
pressure. It's no
but
pressure. It's wait, I'm finished. There's no pressure. It's just that I don't. I don't just hang around with Andy. I have a large circle of friends, and we all brothers. We're family. This is what I mean. All of us, and we are allowed to get together and have a family chat.
oh yeah, no, I never said. Yeah,
Yeah, that's all it is today. It's just a hello. How are you? What's up? Let's have a chat. You
yeah.
are.
It's just that I'm always frustrated at this world. I wake up in it. I wake up in an illusion every day. It's and from my perspective, I wake up in an illusion. I wake up just in a reality that should not be. It's like it's just ridiculous, to be honest. And people can't. I don't know. A lot of people can't see it. I don't know how they can't, but that's why I try
No,
to.
they don't want to. Wait.
But
That's
when
just they don't want to see it. It's hard to see, but when you do see it, sometimes you can't unbreak an egg, and sometimes I do
oh no,
wish.
I'm just.
I do
That's why I
wish.
tried to make them playlists because I thought if people can, and I did loads of comments. Like I say, I don't know. Russell Brand never got back in touch. He's a vagina. Well, vaginas are nice actually. But I'd
Describe
like to
us.
know what.
What do you say to that? What do you say to that? I can't really get involved with that. That's your
No,
comment.
take that back. Vaginas are lovely.
Yeah, I'm not
But
gonna stop saying the V word. It's not offensive, but just I know you're trying to say it as many times as you can now. Stop it.
it's because I'm just I'm keep forgetting that I'm being being immortalised, so I shouldn't really say stuff like that. But
No, you can. It's all right. It's just a
just
part of the
frustration.
human.
Yeah, it's just frustration at this world, and people in it. Who, like I say, he claims to be bringing ideas and trying to bring
We
solutions.
know it's Hollywood. It's casting of spells. We've brought this out. It's a
Yeah,
system. Yeah, we're not.
he helped that neighbourhood, didn't he? He helped that neighbourhood in London somewhere, and he helped them, and they all think he's like a god and that. But he could have just brought, you know what I mean? He didn't mention out about a resource-based economy, and then problems being solved.
Well, yeah, while ever we've got corporate greed and man fighting over blocks of gold and who can hoard the most, then we have a broken system because we're not thinking about a community. What did you say to me once? You said building.
See,
Wait, because building societies are not building societies. They're just usurping and taking the money from the community and embezzling.
there's a bank advert. It's some bank, and it's funny because the advert, the people have got little stickers on their head, like mental health disorder, illnesses, stress, this, that, and other. Yeah, and then it's a advert for a bank that's making out like it's trying to help alleviate them kind of problems. When in actual fact, what it actually represents, the bank, the money system, and all that, is what gives people mental illness. Do you know what I mean? What produces aberrant behaviour.
Well, that and the benefit system, anybody that's going through the universal credit benefits, disabilities and less, whatever, and money, yeah, finance and banking, it does.
They have to have a benefit system, otherwise they'll get robbed.
Have you met your data self? There's that advert gets me. And they've got the Wizard of Oz on for the Halifax, I believe. Dorothy and the effing wizard going down the yellow brick road, no less. Can you believe it? Preposterous.
What I'd say to people is, yeah, do you like technology? Would you be prepared to go and live like the army? No, didn't think so. Right. So technology is going to be used against you.
It'll be used against us, against man, yes.
You need to get hold of it, and that's what they need to do. They need to seize all this. in season.
We've got independent. It's not just the government departments operating. There's a lot. That's what I mean. The scribers and the ones that are independently off the grid. You know, there's ones emulating Dollard and Tesla and Hutchins, and you know, 0 point energy has got out. They've got to tell us because, as you've pointed out and others before, they have their own system of balance. And like the cigarette packet will show you cancer and will tell you you get cancer every time you open it to roll a cancer-causing coffin nail cigarette. You will see that message, and they do that because of the balance, and that's how it works.
Yeah, it's karma. They know it. They know about that. They know it's karma.
I know.
That's why they distracted. So it's all a distraction.
And it's all there. This nigga, this. I didn't know who Tesla was until you told me. I said, "What? Whoa, your dog's a bit. Your dog's is it half horse? Is it half dog?" And you went, "Oh, he's all right. He's soft as a brush. He's called Mister Tesla." And I was like, "Well, that's a unique name if ever I heard one." Didn't know it was Serbian. Nikolai Tesla, the inventor. No, I didn't. And yeah, that was very interesting pathway. When I thought Henry Ford surely couldn't have stopped with Warncliffe and what's his name, Henry Ford and come on, Matt, what are the names? Warncliffe Tower. That stopped the free energy.
Oh, what's his name? Fucking, it's that bank in JP Morgan and Chase, but now it was JP Morgan.
That's just that what they did there is let alone is other than world wars. Other than world wars, that's what I mean. What we could have had at that point would have, you know, they on about the pyramids and the because I've been watching more Bosnian stuff, they're on my mind again. The pyramids and the forces and the chambers and the tombs and what they are and what they were and the energy and the measurements that they get. And it's like, so what we could have had would have been these great, you know, things of energy that would have been pure and harmonious, no environmental pollution, no magnetic issues with because it would have been electromagnetic. They had systems set up, and we ended up dirty diesel and oil and cancer causing. Oh my days, it's just wrong. What you think about how much has happened and how many, you know, the vehicles that we could have had and the engines and the speeds and the
Stop told you, I had an epiphany that day when I realised when it sunk in what Fresco was saying, and then I was like, fucking hell. All the factories that made the machines, that made the fucking machines in the factories, that made the fucking VHS recorders, the CD Walkmans, the fucking tape recorders, the record players, all of it was for now. 40 odd years ago, we had technology to put everything on a central computer, and you just dial it up and listen to what you want for free. You don't need to go and buy a single. And we're still doing it now.
They're still selling games. Yeah, they're selling games now.
Buying DVDs and stuff. When you've got digital, it's there. You don't. There's no. Where's the? You know what I mean? And then they chat shit about fucking recycling and being good for the planet. Why are you allowing these fucking people to sell these products?
Carbon I'm reducing my carbon footprint.
Free market. You can't be the fuck off free market. It's like fucking cigarettes. They kill you slowly, so it's alright. You can still turn up to jobs. Heroin, it makes you a bit unpredictable and thingy, but so that's illegal. It still kill you. They both kill you. You can function as a slave with that one, though. So that's all right. You've got freedom of choice with that. Oh, well, it's your choice to smoke or not. Well, okay, then. What about if someone wants to try heroin? Oh, no, they won't. They can't take heroin. I'm not saying you should take heroin, by the way. Heroin's shit, obviously. But I'm using it as a point of one thing being legal and another thing being not legal. One minute you've got a choice about your health, and then next minute you ain't got a choice about your health. Hold on, you don't want me to not get. What the hell are you fucking like schizophrenia?
Well, I was quite surprised when I found out that food, not only if it comes in a plastic container, contains chemicals in that plastic which you might microwave and it releases toxins and can cause cancers and anomalies in the blood, other than the microwave technology killing all the nutrients in the food, that the beans that I might be microwaving in that plastic tub have got 15 grams of sugar per 300 grams. I'm like, why have I got 15 spoons of sugar in my beans? I don't ever make any meal. When I cook a meal at home, I might put a bit of honey in. I might put some chili in. I might put herbs and spices and oils and everything and onions and vegetables. But I never put 15 sugars in any meal. I only put 2 in my tea. And I might have 5 teas. That's 10 sugars. I think that's a lot. But to have a tin of beans and 5
Sugar's more
teas, to have a
addictive,
tin
more
of beans,
addictive than
to have a
Coke.
tin,
Okay.
so if you have a full English fry up and I have a tin of beans with that fry up and a pint of tea, I've effectively had like too many sugars in one sitting. And then they wonder why we're getting these anomalies and blocked up arteries and fat and not thinking properly. 40 years of the government giving us health advice through the schools, everyone, and our offspring are leaving these indoctrination camps fattest they've ever left. Work that out. 40 years of investment. That's why we need
It's
to
not
step
just
in.
that. It's
We
not
need to
just
step
that.
in.
Everybody's got their face buried in a fucking in a phone. You know, everybody's in finger. I've been walking my dog late at night, and I'm in the area where I grew up with the youth there, and we were all out street, not causing trouble, but just nowhere to go. You know what I mean? Parents don't want you out in the house, so you fucking hang about on corner. And it's dead. There's nobody. There's no youth. There's nobody.
So they're all inside behind screens, tapping away,
False
wearing.
reality, within a false reality, within a false reality. And do you know what they're doing? They're playing a simulation, a false reality. They're just buried in it, lost in it. They'll never do. That's what I mean. That's why I'm starting to lose hope, trying to tell people, and talk about them subjects. But just unbelievable. You can build an house in 24 hours, a machine, do all electric, plumbing, everything. No need for people falling off ladders and scaffolding, dropping bricks on their feet.
Yeah, all that manpower is being used, and humans are being used as resources when we are not resources, and we was given the wealth and the dominion of this realm by the Creator, Lord, God, whatever. And it's a sad state of affairs when we've got a Christmas time where there's people living in tents, manor in tents, can't afford rent, housing, or anything. When you are the creditor creator as king, and you can't afford food, the basics, the taxes, the petrol, the hikes, and it's just like, you know, the medicine, the access to these centres, whether it be health, financial, educational, they're all cut off, and you're left on your arse in the street like a second-class subservient citizen. And you are not a second-class subservient citizen. You are a gift in the present, and you're all stars with your own right to exist and live. But you aren't allowed to live. You just are allowed to exist. And it's, you know, we need to exit so many of these assumptions, presumptions, proclamations, and this system out there with the men in black can't pay, we'll take it away.
It's just so that's what I mean. People need to look at how your fucking brain works. That's what you need to look at. How subconscious brain works and how the conscious brain works. All the mechanisms involved and how you hacked and fucked about it. Just look at it. You might not understand shit, but you fucking half of them playlists that I did on Indigo. Fucking, you know what I mean? I still don't understand all of that. You know, everyone of all them lectures and shit. If there's lectures on there and stuff, but I took and understood what I could from it. You know what I mean? And some of it went over my head. 90%, I got 10%, and then I got a bit more, and then a bit more, and I looked at something else. But automation, technology. And,
Will work for free was another first video I watched. I think will work for free, and billions in change. Zeitgeist, amendum, zeitgeist. Yeah.
I'd say look at Venus Project and Venus Project. All Jack Fresco's lectures, what he's got to say. Listen to the fucking what he's got to say, and make your own mind up. I don't agree with him 100%. He's not very spiritual, but people would have the time to you find out about shit like that. People would have time, because there's one thing. People say, well, people won't work. Why won't people do it? Mastery. People do shit for free at the moment to master stuff. Some people ain't got the time to go out and master anything because they're too busy enslaving it.
Oh yeah, voluntary servitude that we've all submitted forms for. Yeah, we submitted an application form to be in servitude because it's normal to do that.
It's an illusion that active and going, and they've
submitted
got to
our
maintain.
rights.
That's why you've got to have wars. That's why you've got to have fucking terrorist attacks, terrorist things, conflict here. This one, Brexit, for instance. It's all that shit. I go to petrol station, put fucking diesel in back. Well, I just glance and look at them. You know, front covers. That's all I do. I don't pick space. You know what I mean? Don't read them. But I look and I just laugh. Oh my god! People just laugh it up. Laugh it up.
Someone was run over in London and then they was stabbed just to make sure they was dead. You know, these stories coming out now, what's happening, and no one's got time and consideration. The love has gone, the education's gone, the streets are empty.
Like that. 100 years ago, people got run over by an horse and cart and stabbed.
Yeah, maybe. Not, it wasn't commonplace, but it will have happened, I agree. But this is getting commonplace.
It's just aberrant behaviour. They don't fucking put on news all fucking good things that's happening today.
Yes, but
they show you these bad things, and these couple of people got stabbed, and there's more goodness being done today. So we're going to report on that. They don't want to show us happy stuff. And people
I want to say we live in a realm where the singer known as R. Kelly has had out-of-court settlements brought into the news again by Lady Gaga. Bless her. It's not me that's doing it. I just heard stuff on the wireless again. I'm like, you what? He had allegedly nine lawsuits for what's it? What tune did he say now? My mind's telling me no, but my body's telling me yes. Then I realised I went, oh, I see what you're about, Mr. R. Kelly, then. You clever little artist, man. You won't come out and say it, but you'll imply it. But you'll imply it. And he settled out of court quite a few times, that man, for allegations of, and he's been allowed to continue. And I thought, if that was a sovereign court, and a court run by these subscribers here, you and I, this would not be allowed to continue, because no amount of money would make up for doing wrong of that nature if it is in fact that way inclined, due to the reports that I've heard allegedly. Wow, it's hard to speak these days, but you get me, fam? Do you get me, fam?
Just speak,
bullshit.
It's just
you said about money. You said it earlier about money.
He had a record label. Who do you think owned that? Who do you think okayed all them lyrics? You know what I mean?
My mind's telling me no, and it was a great classic. I remember DJing that shit. I'm ashamed that I played that music. I'm ashamed. I've sinned more than I know, because when I learn stuff, I think, oh dear, that means I've been a part of that. Oh, I've helped. Yeah, I've helped in that. Extra lashings for me. Extra lashings. Yeah, it's and that's just one example of the money syndicate and the subterranean network of, oh well, he's influencing many and we can use him as a puppet, and that's one: blackmail, dishonorability, dirty little secrets, drugs. What Michael Jackson was coming out with. Michael Jackson, R.I.P., the great legend that I used to love as a child, but now I've looked for Michael Jackson Illuminati pictures. And I've seen a few where he's doing some symbols and that, and he's doing the dance of Carly.
Yeah, he was a puppet. What do you think he's going to be doing? That's what I mean. He's got contracts.
I know. I didn't know that at the time, and until as a child. But
they all are. They sell their souls. They realise, and then they try and go back, and some of them, and they get ruined. And that's what I mean. He might have been a nonce. I don't know. Fuck knows. You know what I mean? You just don't know what's happening.
The realm we live in is wrong. When you get all these sexual... We've had the Labour Party, Bex Bailey, latest one, coming out going sexual scandals. We've had John Bercow, the Speaker of the House of Commons, reportedly bullying and vexatious and malicious to the... And it's like, hang on, no wonder the society and the culture club, the Petri dish cultures, the microbes on the surface there are going in riot mode, because the leaders and the ones that are authorised in their inherent power, that we gave them parliamentary sovereignty. Okay, if Parliament claims sovereignty, then so shall I, God damn it, under this, you can't be sovereign, Dave. It's Parliament and Queen, we're just peasants. Okay, then I'll just be a peasant. Crucifixion, no freedom, actually. Oh, that's this way. Oh, only joking, it's crucifixion. Oh, you nearly had me there. Honestly.
If you ever hear anybody talk about French, you understand that then? Do you remember late 2018 and early 2019? when we got fucking just from our French brothers. They're the one who's gone on and been beat up by police. They're the ones with bollocks to go out and fucking fight face down their fucking thingy and demand shit. You know what I mean? Because they know power concedes fuck all, except to demand. So you always have to demand. You don't demand, nothing changes, carries on as normal. You can complain all you want, you need to demand shit. They've gone out there and said you're taking fucking piss with fuel prices. You're taking the piss. And they tried to keep it off news, and as soon as it got onto news, it had been happening for a good couple of weeks. As soon as it gets onto news, all petrol stations drop the prices by 10 pence. 10 pence. 10 pence just straight off. Are you taking a piss with us? You've just shaved 10 pence off because people are rioting in France.
But you've got access rights to their minerals, and they're ours. They're all ours.
We don't have the brains to look what they're doing in France and go, actually, we could boycott some of our petrol stations. And what do you mean, knock 10 pence off? You can knock 30 pence off. If you can afford to just knock 10 pence off like that, that means you were taking piss and overcharging us and making stupid money off us. You know what I mean? But no, people just crack.
Yeah, well, there are many ways.
I just thought I'd give up.
I
just thought I'd give up a big up and Viva la France to Frenchies like.
There are many ways of getting your voice and opinion across, and how man chooses to do that is up to them. But there are ways of gaining revenue. And yeah, you're right. It does concede. Let me finish. I'll let you finish. So it does indeed concede to demand. And how that demand comes is evolving rapidly. We're currently seeing a devolution of intelligence and, dexterity of man's will and mind, let alone manifestation of anything wholesome, dare we imagine it. So, we have great tools at hand of which have been suppressed and were classed as the occult, necromancy and dealing with the dead, the fictional character, and so forth. And this world, these private banks that are printing money and lending it to the government, they're getting plain paper and they're making it special and they're giving it to government and they're giving it at interest, and we then pay that interest back because of our government borrowing it off the private banks. Well, we've had enough of this shit. We've had enough of the suicides and the misery and the men in black and all of the claims and how the money seems to work here. And we are splintering off and we are exiting the UK. So regardless of what these chimps and Westminster boons and crown tycoons think they're doing, we have got an ultimate plan, and it's under the governance of self-governing private rights of. And if anybody would like to discuss this, then I classify myself as one of the speaking leading subjects on the divinity of man and the sovereignty. And I, for one, will not be subject to any martial law, military imposition, subject to emergency bullshit taxes, warfare conditions, or any such like public code, because I am already out of it. I am not an outlaw. I am in fact in law and out of public code. And I see what's coming, brothers and sisters, and I don't like it one little bit.
The trouble is, anybody turn the branch off or out like that, that's what I say, you better have food. That's all I'll say, you better have food.
Get out the cities is a big clue there. Get out the cities, for one.
Fucking money here. I've worked with a few people, it seems to be just England. Be all right if you lived in
get
Europe,
out of the cities.
In the countryside, everything's sweet.
There's loads of land. I've seen it. There's loads of land out here.
But yeah, now it's just you just get shot and killed like them in Waco. That's what people have done that. But
you're not allowed to live off the grid. It's illegal to live off the grid. Sorry.
If you get two fingers, they will. They get too hot for them, they'll just shut it all down. They own everything. They give the orders and people follow them like fucking idiots. That's why all politicians, I've seen local newspaper covers and things, they're just talking, securing jobs and this, and a cult. You said something about a cult. A cult just means hidden.
Yes, it does. That's right. I said arrested and a cult,
yeah. System, the way it works, is the occult, because it's all hidden. How it works. If people were shown, if kids at school were taught how this system works, all the mechanisms, everything, the ins and outs, the what and the product, the results of having that, doing that like that, you know what I mean? They'd be like, why the fuck are we? Why? You know what I mean? The kids would fucking kick his faces in. They'd be coming over. What the fuck? Why?
Answer me why a private bank would create a currency exclusively. They even, all right, if you're not disgusted in that fact alone with the national debt and this bullshit with austerity and Brexit and all this money and what we've brought you already, these lot. These private bankers that print this money that lend it to government, this is what pisses me off is, yeah, and why I'm doing what I'm doing is because they've got outside. You can't touch them because they've got exemption from all law. They're outside of the
Well,
law, fam.
it's
Let me
not
finish.
that.
Let me finish. So, a public notice to all the scribers here today, 16th of January, year of our Lord 2019, allegedly by this bullshit calendar. Yes, I proclaim that because those private bankers have put themselves outside of public code. They're not outside of law. We're all in that court. We're all being watched every day, every hour, every minute, every action, every deed that we execute, and every deed has a
Don't
reaction. Yeah. So,
detect 24/7.
if they are, just please be patient. If they are going to say we're outside of that law and we're going to print money and we're going to be exempt from anything and we're going to rule over you, then I'm going to say, well, I'm outside of that law. I'm outside of the public law, and I stand here under God as with clean hands and in honour, and I say this shit's wrong. Someone's got to speak up and point it out, and if it can't be simplified any greater than that, then I'm at a loss. I'm really at a loss.
People got to have solutions, otherwise it's into Nazism and all sorts. Too far right. Yeah, it's because of foreigners. We need to get out of
If you
Europe.
print money, Matt, if you print money, you are counterfeiting. Sorry.
That's what I'm saying. If somebody declares, it's the simplest equation you can give people. If somebody declares, fucking me, the only person that can produce onions, and I'm the only one that can produce onions, and people have to give me onions back. If I give them 100 onions, they have to give me, and I can dictate I want 150 onions, right? Then I'm the only one that can produce them. So once some people have borrowed 100 onions and I'm getting due me 150 back, to pay that 100 onions back, to pay the interest, they've got to get more onions off me. So I've locked them in a perpetual cycle of loans. Do you think ever anybody will be able to get more onions than me? No, because I'm the fucker that produces them, and every other fucker owes me more onions, and I've got to produce more just so they can borrow some more off me to pay me.
Yep, that's how it's going. And we are going to work every day. We are going to work every day. It's annoying when people interrupt, isn't it? It's annoying.
The money system doesn't exist for them. The people that run this system that we all live by, all the laws, everything, they don't exist in it. They're above it. They look at us and piss themselves.
Thank you. That's right. Yep.
They're just pissing themselves, laughing at us. And, you know what I mean? We're like, and I say to people about resource-based economy, no money. Oh, well, we need money. That's what fuck me, Jesus. And I know, but I'm speaking to the elite, not the person that's in front of me, not the body that's in front of me, not the flesh. That's been programmed into that response. You're not talking to them. You're talking to responses that's been programmed into people. That's what you've got to get past.
I would just like to say that equality is paramount. To quote that famous citation of niceness of judicial realms, but it's in life. We just see. I'm just expressing the fact that I'm just a soul, man, tripart, whatever, mind, body, and soul that sees that even the ants and everything is equal to myself, and I value the life now. I didn't always, but I have now recently realised that we are all equal. So anybody that wants to say they're higher than me, I've immediately got a problem with, because I don't think I'm higher than anybody else, and I don't expect anybody to give me beneficial treatment, and I don't want none from them. We all just get along just fine as we are and crack on. And that's it. But anybody that proclaims that, they're an enemy to us, to our way, to the environment.
They're an enemy to themselves. Jon Snow, and that politician, said that, and he said, "Yeah, but where will you get the money from?" And I thought, I'd like to compare my education to his education, right? And his qualifications to my qualifications, and even do like some kind of Mensa test to see how dumb I am compared to him. Yeah, and say, so what's that all about? Where's your soul? Have you sold it? Because that's all I'll say to people. Fucking your soul's all you've got. It's all you've got. Don't sell it. Don't compromise it. Fuck all. Might mean going with heart, but go with heart.
Which brings me around to the travellers. They know this, and that's why they haven't got the registration.
Well,
No,
no,
we don't go for the registration. Oh, no.
Everybody's got the conditioning, and I can't remember what it is, but I think it's something to do with bloat.
The king. It's called the king. Regis. It's Regis. Regis equals king. No, I will say my piece now. Regis equals king.
Who was crucified outside Jesus or something like that, and that's why I try. That's what somebody, some information that came to me, but I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying the bad route. I'm just saying, but apparently they're taught to believe that they've got a right to steal or something. They're descendants from that guy or something.
Where did this come from? The gypsies, travellers.
Yeah, traveller community kind of thing. People said about they steal a lot and whatnot, and then I can't remember. Somebody told me it, or if I'd seen it on something. But I'm not saying it's true or not. I'm not saying that's true. I'm not even saying they steal, but I'm saying that's what it was related to. And they said
no, it's like citizen warfare. You have propaganda.
Right to, basically, it's the same kind of belief. What royals have, we've got divine right over people. That's why I'm not saying the right to steal. If they do, are taught that. You know what I mean? If you're taking someone's stuff, you're breaking, you're causing them loss. So
common law, pal. 101 theft.
But no,
10 Commandments. 10 Commandments. Don't steal.
That's just propaganda from this machine because they don't assimilate, they don't fit in.
Well, I'm going to say it's both because
people on
we have a covenant. You see, if ever we get confused or wander from the path, we will have a covenant, and the covenant is the original agreement between the Creator and man, allegedly as it is in the manuscripts, lest we not forget where they're from. And you look at the evidence and you think, well, okay, then that's all right. 40 days mountain, 10 commandments. There you go. That's the contract you've got to abide by. And any deviation from that, woe betide you. Not that I'm preaching. Not that I'm preaching Christianity or any kind of religion, because I've dropped that with politics. But what I'm saying is actions and deeds have reactions. Simple as.
The universal law that is attached to the court that is always in session 24/7. It judges everybody equally. It's always dishing it out. The karma, it's linked to karma. It's the same thing. It's all I've lost my thingy now.
The constant court.
It's all linked, and that's why it's very basic. So that's why you can do 10 Commandments, and because they all link to each one of them. You know what I mean? You don't. What goes around comes around. What you do to people will come back on you. You'll get it done to yourself. You know what I mean? That's why you do to others what you.
It's like karma doesn't mean that. Yeah, I've learned something.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
No, I learned what it was. No.
If you do to people what you want,
it's believed as that. It's a misconception.
If you're going out giving people shit, then you'll get shit back. That's karma. Goes around, comes around. You know what I mean? You give it out, you get it back. You give what you get.
Murphy's law, Sod's law, law of attraction, inwardly projects, outwardly manifest. Yeah.
But people were taught to give it out, and then they wonder why shit's going wrong when they're getting it back. You know what I mean? It's because you've been taught to give yourself bad karma. You've been programmed.
You're cursing. Well, we curse ourselves and we cast spells on ourselves.
Don't think the universal law the thing is acknowledges a money system. For 1 second, it doesn't. You know what I mean? It says you've got people in segments of this planet starving, living nasty lives. If they're not starving, they're getting raped at early age, they're getting bombed, they're getting blown to bits.
Working in factories making iPhones.
In various degrees of nasty, horrific horribleness. That's that, and it doesn't
making designer labels.
It doesn't say, there's a money system. Do you know what I mean? It says now, and it doesn't judge them people that's controlling that money system neither. It judges us as well for accepting it. That's another thing why the world is. Do you know what I mean? That's why once you seek solution if we implemented it, demanded it, you'd see a lot of. You know what I mean? It won't be paradise, but it'd be a lot hell of a lot better than this shit. This is
Intelligence and education would be a start if we had intelligence and education. That's what I'd like to see, a basic element of intelligence and no more student loans and suicides over student debt. I don't want no more deaths over money when it's come to education and drugs and gambling and crap that's going off because they can't afford. Wait for your baby scientist. Put a pin in the baby scientist a minute. I'm just going on a little tangent with the money and the deaths, which is important because student loans and education, which is what I put in the title there, amongst the NHS and the travellers, and what I talked about with the can't pay, we will take it away that I saw today in the peaceful entry, is that, you know, it's wrong that man does worry about money and for this banking and the fractionalised banking because they are just promises to pay, and education should never be charged for, ever. No man in his right mind would charge to educate his kin or blood or anybody that's in the family. The knowledge was passed on. The elder, the shaman had it traditionally, and it was kept within. And when we learned to write, there was a major concern about writing because it meant that information could be passed on to others that may not need to know that information. So what we did is we made signatures and we made authenticity and wax stamps, and it all started to career from there, which is called the casting of spells, and it goes very deep. But the money system is as intricate as that, what I've just explained with all of that, but even more deeper. And it's like when the deaths come from it, and it's like there is no debt. We're all in debt, and there is no such thing as money, because money, as we've explained, is intrinsically backed by something of value. And if you haven't got money, you've got credit, and you've got credit in a debt-based system, which is where the debtor creditor comes from, which is why you can accept for value and you discharge and you do it transfer via endorsement, you know, and that's why it all makes sense, because it comes back to a loop. There is a way out of it, and it is real. It is a remedy. It is remedy, and it does come under, you know.
I'll give you a deep trust exercise here in how what trust will get you. There was a great travesty if you look at humanity as a whole, as a species, yeah, if you look at us all as a species, there's a reason why people, they weren't that bothered about being educated, because the money system, you know, back in day, hundreds of years ago, basically the people that's been educated in these posh schools and these posh institutions and stuff have stood on the shoulders of all the people that's gone out and done the manual labour and didn't have time to learn and get their heads in them books and learn these, you know what I mean? So they've stood, all this is where you see around you has been built on shoulders of manual labour, you know, and these people who stood on them shoulders, they, for generation after generation, getting educated in that, and some people even inventing machines and stuff that's, you know, that's used, technologies that's used. There's been a massive breach of trust, because they should have got to a point when they knew that the machines, we could build machines now to do everything, you know what I mean, to make, so people
grey goo, nanobots, everything, yeah.
They didn't have the time before to educate themselves, because more educated people there are, the better society it is. So why would you possibly want people to be undereducated unless it's to control them?
Yeah,
so there's been an abuse of trust on a massive scale, you know, crossing all continents, and yeah, that's where trust gets you. It doesn't get fucking nowhere. People need to fix up. That's what I mean. That invention ain't never gonna come that's gonna change the world and make everybody's fucking life easier. They've already come. All the inventions are already here. They've already come. But they're suppressed or not implemented.
I'm not bringing anybody anything new under the sun. All I'm doing is pointing out. Wait, let me finish then. I'm pointing out the intricate mechanisms of legal, lawful, admiralty, ecclesiastical, you know, trust, equity, all of this bullshit that's wrapped around is, and the money and everything that we've mentioned here. I've said on numerous videos previously that trust is the only currency that man has. I trust you implicitly with my life. No, wait, I trust you, Matthew. Matthew, let me finish. I trust you. No, it doesn't matter. I trust you with my life, and I trust others with my life, and that's what the currency is there. The trust.
Nobody with my life, that's how it goes. In an environment, because I know environment dictates the fucking thingy. So if there's two of us and we're starving to death, you might eat me. So
no, I'd rather starve.
Shit. So what we're saying is,
So you'd rather say on YouTube, you're going to proclaim on YouTube that if we were starving, I would eat you. That's what you think.
I'm saying
Thank you. I thought we was friends, YouTube. I wasn't expecting that.
People have eaten people before and thingy. So what I'm saying is the environment dictates everybody's behaviour, not morals.
It does, true,
not
but
what they want to do,
but
not
to
what
an
they
extent.
want to happen. Not, you know what I mean? Their actions are dictated by their environment. So that's what I mean. So what I'm saying, back to what I was saying about the abuse of trust on a grand scale, they're not going to roll nothing out for us. They're not going to roll nothing out. We built everything, and they stood on our shoulders to get to here, and now they're living like large. Do you know what I mean? No matter how rich you are, then you're not living like them. Do you know what I mean? They don't die of cancer. Everybody else's uncle, sister, brother, mother, and fucking, you know what I mean? And everyone else is running races for cancer. They're just laughing at you. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. So they were on our shoulders all this time, and we've carried them all the way up to here, and they're not prepared to share. They're not prepared to, you know what I mean? They've abused it. The trust's gone.
No,
Everything that you see around
I'll
us,
wait till he finished.
We run and operate, so it's ours. It's ours. Don't, you know what I mean? That's big. Wake up. You want to wake up. Everything's ours. It's all ours.
I have, through my research and elements of discovery, found other such writings as "silence is deemed as consent," and I found some research that said some writings that said. Let me think closely. It said something like. It was by somebody that was researching the same area that I was researching, and it was something like, and this is why we have these systems at hand, because if we didn't, we would all be slaves under the United Nations, International United Nations Human Rights Slavery Act. So there is a remedy in law to get out, and he says that they view it as that they've got clean hands, and what I put into the sovereign educational foundational publications that we've done to get you all up to speed to where we are, so it's written down and not just in video form, is that they say that they've got clean hands because we are the ignorant ones, and our ignorance is why we are all living the way we are, and that why they're at war with us, and that we haven't been educated to this level, and that it's true that the information is there for us to find. But because of the distraction and the entertainment and the drugs and the sex and the politics and everything else that's going off, and the jobs and the assets, we don't have time to get this education into our hectic lifestyle. So that's why we have these chats and we do these publications and we build these .coms such as SPO's Pro, because if man doesn't try every which way possible to do something, like the 100th monkey syndrome that I mentioned at the beginning of this hangout. That's why I put a 10,000 sovereign target on the .com. And Matthew may or may not be into trust technology, but I wasn't into trust technology. I was into warming up DJ sets for Professor Green and Wretch 32 on the Isle of Zante with my Scottish brethren there, Gavin, of the Marks clan and tribe and family of estate, and having half pints of raki. So I'm not going to apologise for what I've found and brought to you, and the instruments and the technology, the verbiage, the etymology, the language, the proclamations, the Roman Catholic, the Christian, the monarchy, the corporations, the UN, the foreign war policy, the Club of Rome in general, you know what I mean, the Illuminati and everything else. It's not our fault, but what we are doing is just making public proclamations and having discussions as a family to say, it's as simple as it is, you know, it's as simple as we've put it there.
Simple's the best way to keep it. I'd say they put silence is no consent, because that way it gets you to contact
silence is deemed as consent is the actual for everyone.
And that links to your joinder. But as for them claiming anything, that's them claiming something. You know, people can claim, where's evidence, where's your proof?
Beliefs, it's a belief, is it not? I believe that your belief is not very good.
Well, it's just they're selling. They sell you something on about honour, and it's all based on dishonour.
Well, yeah, that's annoying. That is really
fraud. A guy who's committing fraud can't claim that he's honest. So it's as simple as that. When you work out, you know what I mean? It's like, hold on, I wasn't told about it. It's non-disclosure, right? By your own shit, you're telling me that this is fucking null and void. By your rule,
Yeah.
Like your own shit, what you're saying, your stuff's null and void. You know, it's bullshit. But they're just a big gang, so they'll get people. And we're not together, so...
Shadow Man, he's coming for you. Shadow Man, he's coming for you now.
We're all separate. All
Shadow Man.
Separate.
Let's have a late night Shadow Man chat. What do you know about the Russian sleep experiment? Why would you do that? Why would you do such an experiment? Why would
There's
you?
a lot of worse being done.
I'm just joking. It is actually 5 to 11. It is getting on. Let's have a look at the commentary. I'm going to have a look at the comments, actually, Mark. Carry on.
There was a woman called, I think she was called Delphi, and she was one pick. She got away, and there were a fire brigade called to out in I think it was New Orleans. This is back in long times ago, and these people were being tortured that badly. They were prepared to set their house on fire. When fire brigade got there, there were somebody chained to stove, or basically right next to the fire that had been started, and there was some horrific shit upstairs that people can go and have a look at that story. I think she was called Delphi. She did some horrific stuff, sewing people's hands to other people and just mental shit. Fucking hell. She was white and they were black, obviously, but she were one sick puppy. Some right sick puppies out there.
What's your favourite YouTube video, would you say, of all time?
I don't know. It's not just one.
There's not just one. What's your favourite topic?
I'd say Fresco. I'd say Fresco because I was getting a bit depressed with all shit, people giving the information about what's wrong with the world, but nobody actually giving a viable solution. You know what I mean? Nobody giving a solution. Just selling books, just selling stuff. You know what I mean? Always selling stuff.
Silence is tacit agreement, Norman. Yes, that's right. Yes, Norman. Carry on.
Says, I'm not selling shit. I ain't got a boss. I don't answer to fucking nobody. This is what's wrong with your fucking world. If you want me to, you know what I mean? I'll spell it out. But this is what's wrong with your fucking world. You know, don't come crying. You know what I mean?
Gumshoe Sleuth, he's picked up on it. Gumshoe, what I do with Matt sometimes to get him out his shell is to provoke him a little bit and to do what he does to me and interrupt back. He says, you two are a nightmare. And we have a little special relationship, Matthew and I. I've known each other for in excess of 25 years, no less. I've slept in the man's bedroom when I was about 14, was it 15? when I fell out with my mum and I went off the rails, to be fair, and this man saved me somewhat. It was the beginning of the saving of me not going off the rails. Yeah, respect to you, brother. I'll always owe you for that. To be fair, I remember and I'm indebted, but still. Yes, we have a special relationship, Gumshoe. It's not like it seems. It's nothing but love, isn't it, Matt? Nothing but love, my brother.
It is.
We have a special
frustration on my part. I do say things. My ex-partner said that I used to say things to her, but I'd be frustrated at a situation, but it'd be as if I'm talking angry to that person, to the, you know what I mean, to her or somebody, but I'm not. I'm just pissed off with this world, to be honest. But yeah, like I say, I'd say Fresco's videos are quality. And they just showed you that, oh yeah, fuck me, that he's right, actually, that is possible. Why the fuck, why is he the only one saying this?
Yeah.
Let's go and see Russell Brand and see Russell Brand must know. He's always bringing people to the table. No, only thing you can find is a couple of seconds clip where somebody must say, what do you think of Venus Project? And he says, Venus Project sounds like a good idea, and that's it. That's all he had to say on it. But he's had interviews with people that's wrote books on anarchy. You know what I mean? I think he was about 20-odd year old, that bloke. 30. Opposed to a bloke that's 100 years old, designed cities, he's an engineer, he's invented loads of, you know what I mean, safety devices. Only ever worked on safety devices, not mechanisms and ways to bomb people and burn people faster. Yeah, don't listen to him. Don't give him airtime.
We've had Steve McRae in the house. I've missed old Steve. Brother Steve's been in having a chat with the chat room. See, we've got one of the nicest, warmest, most well-rounded chat rooms and famalands and no egos. All is good. He's very busy then, getting himself in the high courts there. Good luck to your brother. I'm sure, I know you don't need it, but just in the moral sense, cracking on. G stars in the house on about that there can be good, money can be used for good. It's not evil. It's the ones that use it that it's collected up, and it's there is
Well,
good.
no,
There is good
I'm
done.
not going to prove him, but what he's saying is it can be used for thingy. Who's going to produce it? And if you're going to produce money,
Okay, well, it's done in many ways. It
why,
doesn't have
if
to
you're going to
stay.
produce money, that means that you want to have more than other people. You want to have more access to things than other people have got. Why do you want to have more access to something than somebody else has got? Why don't you want to have equal access?
Yeah, well, in a sovereign.
Why don't you want to build no, I'm just. It's just
sovereign,
a question that I'm not having a go. This is how my mind works now. So I'm thinking. So hold on, then. If you know what I mean, how can it be used for good? Because if you take it away, fully out of the way, how can you have greed? You know what I mean? If you keep it, you're going to have greed, you're going to have aberrant behaviour, you're going to have people wanting to have more than other people. What's the point of wanting to have more money than other people just to give it away? You get what I mean? So they're not going to want to give it away, they're going to keep it. And then you're going to get more of the aberrant behaviour and people rising to the top. That's all that's ever happened on this planet. Power structure's been replaced, except for last year long, when, you know what I mean, it's proper got locked down.
So right now, I will comment with there is that is a valid comment, and I can't deny that. That is a true reflection of current economical, sociological, communist, socialist, allegedly free, states. And let me finish. Let me finish. Yeah, I'll let you. Don't keep butting in. So that was a fair depiction of that. And then we have now money being used right now as we speak. There's money being used good and for good, and there's money being used for bad things, buying drugs, buying sex, for sinful things, we'll call it. And there's money being hoarded by those that don't need to hoard it, that could release it. And now I want to go on to something else, which is where we call this thing called money. We need to recognize that we have a system. Wait, let me finish. We have a system out there with market items, under these codes that we've talked about, these international unified commercial codes, and these international values, dollars and American dollars, euro dollars, Barbados dollars, and whatever else we've got going off, euros. And so we have these currencies in interchangeable markets. And so what's happened is we've slowly over time got these promises to pay mixed up with money, and these IOUs mixed up with cash. And we've got cash money, and monetary value is allowed to be added to, like, say, items like a car, a house, a gold ring, a second-hand phone, and you could put a value of that of, say, 400. But 400 what? So we say 400 pounds, and we're 400 pounds of sterling, currency. All right, yes, because that's sterling silver. Sterling sounds posh, doesn't it? But that sterling currency is our sweat equity. It isn't actually a currency at all. It's money. So we have the ability to affix a monetary value to market items to get credits passed across, because what we're using is not money. So what we're doing is using different things, and they're promises to pay. So if there's only promises to pay because we're all bankrupt and there is no gold in the bank and it's all in the Vatican and the International Switzerland Bank, and there's all these secret things going off we don't know about with creditors and SPVs and mortgages and loans and fractional banking and fiat currencies, and what we've said about the private banks, then isn't it about time we did something about it? You're right with what you're saying, and that's what we're discussing. It's a deep. It's not just so simple, because when I've looked into it, it's taken me a long time to be able to put that paragraph together randomly like that, because it warps your mind. It warps your mind.
It's just the technology, money, and that. It was just the technology. We needed it to get to here, and now it's irrelevant. When you've got Kiva systems, Amazon, you've got cars that can fucking drive themselves.
We don't need to work. Wow. Number one.
Can drive themselves. What the hell are you? Do you know what I mean? Wake up, people. Young people should be thinking this more than me. I'm 42, but do you know what I mean? They should be going, this world's backwards.
Well, what they're doing, they're all getting into debt by getting Ubers, getting 10 Ubers at £8.50 a month, buying pizzas and probably shopping on a Saturday with cyclical consumption on the latest, whatever it is they need to get, discs for the computer that they could download. You know, I don't know, but I'm looking at society's change as well. You're 41, I'm getting on 41 in May actually. So yeah, same age just about, aren't we? We've seen the invention of the internet, mobile phones, technology, Facebook, data, teletexting. So much stuff has happened in the last 20 years. It really is. You know, the access that these poor these offspring have got, the access is so dangerous as well.
There's a load of bad stuff that's happening, but could be just with a little click of a finger become good stuff. Do you know what I mean? Good technology. Do you know what I mean? Warehouses fucking doing bad stuff can be doing good stuff. It's just what we're getting it. Do you know what I mean? Nobody can be asked.
Yeah, but by the same...
You need to get your local politicians first. You need to go at your local politicians and your local councils, and you need to fuck them.
Oh, you need to be careful what you say. You need to rephrase that.
Metaphorically, I don't mean bending over fat, ugly fucking...
All right, be careful. Don't be graphic. All right, we get the idea.
And just generally, people who want to live off top of skim off people, you know.
Yeah.
Passing thing is just saying stuff that they think. They're just saying stuff that they think you want to hear. You know, I don't give a shit. You know, I'm not going to get any money if anybody listens to my words. You know, I don't give a shit. You know, I'll tell you. They're just telling you shit that they think you want to hear. Bullshitters, because they want something. They want to sit in a fucking... They want to be MP of...
They're paid to. They're on a commission. The Prime Minister works for a corporation, the United Kingdom. Donald Trump works for a corporation. He doesn't work for the man. We've pointed this out. The system at hand is a business. You think you live on the landmass of the United Kingdom. You don't. You're on England. You're on Anglican soil. You're on Britannia. You're on many things. You're on the Commonwealth. You're on the United Kingdom. But some of it, you know, let me finish. Some of it is relevant and some of it isn't. But the ruling elite of Parliament and the House of Commons and all of this and Elizabeth and the police and the corporations and the Crown and everybody are in the United Kingdom. But we're men on the landmass, quite simply put, not United Kingdom. I'm going to export a family out of this crap into the land of milk and honey, effectively, without no biblical proclamation and without no charge of any money. It's the education. Like, here's an example. If Matthew didn't know what he knows now, and he was an everyday Joe, and I was me, and I know what I know, and Mr. Big Barry came, and when he dealt with Matthew, he might open the door and we might go in and he might start trying to seize goods to the value of. But with me, I'd know it's a civil matter and I wouldn't open the door and I'd have notices on the outside and I'd formally notice them and I'd put trespass and private property and I'd reserve my rights at all times and I'd afford public liability to my person. But if you're not educated in that realm and you don't know the language and the barriers and that the officers there are not there to aid and abet and help get the revenue for the corporation in the form of fines and fees, it's a different realm. It really is. And it's that simple. It's the education that needs to get out there through these chats, through these talks, and through, you know, the cognition of certain basic things. And like Santos said, they do put it in the language. And when you've had help to decode a little bit of it, when you're autistic, Asperger's, and you're on that spectrum of not being a sleep zombie sheep, it will present itself to you, and you'll find your own remedies without, you know, you're passively learning by listening and partaking in this chat. To be fair, everybody in this chat is now passively learning and educating themselves whilst being social. So you're having a social chat and you're learning.
Interrupt you and just say, everybody's seen these things about hidden messages. Everybody sees the bullshit. Are they keepers at war? You know, look at General Smedley Butler. War is a racket. If you don't read, listen to audiobook. If you read it. It spells it out to you. Listen to Fresco. It'll spell it out to you because, that's the one thing that they have to go to a lot of work. Well, we're at now HBO. about 3 different channels, just American ones, I think it were. We're going to spend, I forgot how much it were, just bringing people bullshit for them to watch when they're on settees. To stop them thinking about
Game of Thrones.
people starving in
Yes.
countries, you know, and it was
Box sets.
billions. That's what they were spending, producing some shit programs for you to watch. Not billions on feeding kids, but billions. So that's where your money gets you. Do you know in the money system? Do you know money? That's where it gets you. That's where it gets you. We're living in a money system. So what money
Wrongly
gets you?
used. Yeah,
What
it's
money
wrongly
gets
used.
you? What money gets you is what you get. This is a money system. Look at all religions preaching love and fucking. You know what I mean? Why? If money can be used for good, do you get what I mean? How could it be so corrupted? How could people be so manipulated if they've got all these morals that they've learned in these books? You know what I mean? Thou shalt not, and all this. No, because the people that control
Yeah, but a
that,
weapon
that
could be
dictates
used,
it.
a gun could be used for self-defense, but it could also be used to kill. You could argue this about anything, not just money. Everything has a dual application and use.
The humanity's not lived in without money, yeah? It's got us to this level. It could have been dropped a long time ago.
I would like
what
to
I'm
say
saying is, nobody's lived in a resource-based economy. But I will say something.
tribes have, tribesmen
If you
have.
go to them tribes, and there is a tribe that's descendant, all the people there, they're about 300 people or 200 people. They're all a direct descendant of this bloke that founded this little island. And there's other proper tribes and whatnot. But yeah, there's no stealing, no police, no nothing, no crime. You know what I mean? Because they all share it out. So when you do actually, that's the only way. But they don't use technology in most of them places. Imagine us doing that with implementing everything that's around you at the moment that's been implemented. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is the world you live in, yeah, is full of religion and all these beautiful things. You know what I mean? And all these different things. But how is it like this then?
It's a conceptualization. The world you live in the world you live in is an interpretation. Everybody
but the only
interprets
thing
it.
I'll add to it is
I'm sure you will, yeah. Go on.
Do you know? No, if you travel around, I don't travel that much, but if you travel around, you'll see it. It's shit everywhere. Do you know what I mean?
I have travelled Bosnia.
Same shit. Yeah, so everyone's facing same shit.
Europe.
Continent over continent, just in different aspects, different degrees. But yeah, so they know all this. Them at top, and that's why they spend all that money flagging you and keeping you distracted because they're shitting it. They know at any moment people could just click on. You know what I mean? And when they do, they're done. So that's why they spend all this money.
Yeah, but it's like 2 minutes to doomsday.
They spend all this money you spend all your money. They spend all your money and all your wealth causing misery, sending you to war. You know what I mean? Getting you to hate people because of this reason or that reason. And if you don't, they'll soon get you to hate them. You know what I mean? Bit of false flaggage. So I say, in a money system, it's just too easy to fuck it. It's just too easy. That's what's wrong with money. This world, how it is now.
Order followers, everyone's got the price, you know, order followers. And everyone's having their prices, but money.
I'm not on about somebody's perspective. Sorry, Dave. By the way, I'm on about collectively when you look at the whole planet.
Tell me when you're finished. Tell me when you've done.
I'm just saying, from above. If you look at it collectively, not just from you know what I mean. Some people might think, well, I think it's all right. Well, you might do. You might have plenty of cash. I don't know. You might have plenty of access, should I say? You know what I mean? But there's plenty of people that haven't. Well, that's yeah. They know.
It's regardless of what we discuss here today. The fact of the matter is there is a bond with a person's name on it. You are all free, sovereign, self-governing, independent, free man, not bonded. You are not dead. You are all living, honourable, and you have a person for your remedy. That's the person there that they've given you. So they can't, under the United Nations, you can't say that we're slaves. We can get out. And under the human rights rulings and articles, there is a section that says every human is afforded a person. So why we afforded persons is what was stuck out to me. And I thought, well, because the slavery bit, because if there weren't persons, then that would be the thing where we are all it. And we've got two. We've got a date. No, you don't. We've got a data self and we've got ourselves. So there's David and there's David the data self. And
Why though? Why
I
have
don't
you
want
got
to
that?
see camping videos of two men in a tent on top of each other, half naked, about fictional IDs. Thank you very much. Corporate branding, marketing, oh, gimmick, you know what they're doing there. But you know, the fact is that the money is not there, and we've all got an access via the indemnification of the IMF, which is the national insurance number. You have the thumbprints, you have an autograph, you have the right to discharge, like, you know, electricity again, language of, and the charges. And the way to discharge the charges, honourable, in a bankrupt society that's gone bankrupt on purpose, you know, and all these taxes and things that are going off when we all have no money and we're only banding around debts which are promises to pay under IOU. So, in effect, you know, it just needs that knowledge to get out there. And when that does, I think man will start to see money in a new light. Thus, the entering of the golden age and the evolution of the Venus Project, resource-based economies, and a different view. Just lack of suicides, yes, will drop massively. Yeah, debt, misery, pharmaceutical drug taking, alcohol, street community violence. Do you know how much this mental abuse and sacrilege that's happened by this bondage and this fractionalized private elite bankers that are outside all law? It really does piss me off. Really
Well,
does. They've got a lot to answer for. A
that's what I
lot.
said. There's a reason. That's what I was saying. Why have you got a person? Why have you got that person? Why is all
Yeah.
that bullshit surrounding it
Yeah.
made up? It's all because of the
Yeah.
money system. It's attached to it. It's linked to it. That's why they're all gone. As soon as you get rid of that, the banks, the fucking, it's all fucking gone.
Yeah, but Jesus dying for our debts, yes, means that there is no debts. He didn't die for our sins. He died for our debts, I believe.
I don't know about this
Maybe,
Jesus.
you
I
know.
don't know. I never met him, and people just told me stuff. But I know what technology is possible today.
So, I don't know about Jesus either. I just know what this book says and what their system says. And if they've got,
and I know that book.
if they've got a King James Bible and so forth, and we're a Christian country and we've been Catholically bonded, then I need to investigate. You know, I need to know more.
What they did at the Council of Nicaea is nothing to do with me. What Boniface Barry said is nothing to do with me. I can't declare all BMWs mine.
Why can't you? Go on, try it. Do it today. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Oh, mine. No, you can't do that. That's what children do. Right? So, take your time this shit and fuck off.
Bullies. It's actually bullies. Bullies do that.
You're not welcome. You know what I mean? I'd just like to have a life. I'd like to have other life without fucking.
So you've just done a public notice and proclaimed all the BMWs across the realm are now yours, unless in 2 weeks' time. Come on.
Yeah, unless I receive it, you know what I mean? It's start turning up on people's doors. Dave, I've got a bailiff. No, it's not. It's your mate. It's Beamer. He's got a right to it.
You know, it's hilarious.
He said my silence was consent. That's their fucking shit. What they're trying to push on you. It's bullshit. It's fucking nonsensical bullshit.
All right, lad. All right. We're going to wrap it up. We're wrapping it up.
It is, though.
Bless. We got 35 in the live chat.
I'm not fibbing.
My soul is worth more than any metal as it's infinite, says one user, one scriber. Greg says, they always burst. Oh, hang on, I need to check, see if they're relative to read. Shadow Dynamics. Hello, Shadow. Good evening, brother. Long time no see. I hope you're good, my man. Go on, man.
What I were going to say to what he just said about soul, yeah, we are the resource, the most valuable resource on this planet, because the metal and the minerals and everything don't get turned into materials and technologies. We are the resource.
Yeah, but we're not to be used as a resource like, you know, corporations
no, collectively,
do.
we should use each other as a resource.
Yeah,
you have like the open source community puts everything out there, open source. Says, I've invented this, anyone can make this better, this is how I built it, this is how it works, crack on. Oh, fuck me, you made it better, that's right, good. No,
Shadow Dynamics says it's known as in-depthness. It's the silent wars for quiet weapons. Ah, I recognise that.
Yeah, and there's the Tavistock Institute. Professor Grid's very good to listen to. He's you know what I mean? He's felt they can make us do what we want. Well, it's proven. Look at history. They get us to kill each other at the drop of a hat. So World War One, no, World War Two. Germany's at war with Nazis. England's at war with Nazis, the Allies, and the fucking thingy and all this bollocks. So the working men are out there killing each other, chopping each other's throats up, blood everywhere, organs everywhere, bombing each other, machine gun fire, fighting barehanded to death, living in trenches, dugouts, surrounded by rats and other nasty shit. And
Ah,
the
go on then.
rulers of said countries are talking about how the music should resonate, how the notes of musical notes should be resonant in what frequencies and what I mean. So they're talking about that and agreeing on changing, taking out this frequency and putting in this frequency, and they're all agreeing on that, and then it all gets rolled out the world over. How the fuck's that possible when world's at war and man's killing each other? How are you lot in there saying, you know what I mean, chatting shit about how you're going to tune your fucking violin? What resonant frequency? You're a Nazi. You're Joseph Goebbels, the propaganda minister of fucking Nazi Germany, and this is the British Standards Institute. Why are you talking at all?
They have got because they have counsel for foreigners.
And then you find out it's because the Nazis believe. So whether it's true or not, whether the the 328 frequency, A32 frequency, but the solfeggio, original solfeggio, the Nazis believe that the frequency what was being played at the present time created well-being in people and a good feeling of love. And then the frequency that they replaced it by, through experimentation, they believe that created jitteriness and anxiety and such things as like that in the human being.
I know, that's correct.
That's why they collectively did that, because then you get more people signing up to go and kill Germans and more Germans signing up to go and kill English.
Smoking tobacco. I know as a DJ now, and through digital media manipulation through music samplers and like Soundforge and I don't know Reason, Fruity Loops. I've had some top programs in the past, like messing around with MP3s, and you get to do stuff with them on the screen, and they give you a visual representation, and they give it you in hertz. And I learned about hertz and the radio and frequencies, modulation, electric. These are things that indigos like to, as you do, Matthew, and others that are scribing here now. And I got into it. And when I heard that, I had to look into a thing called cymatics, but you get it with a K and some KY, and sometimes it's spelled CYMATICS. But that's really how we are. We're all, as I've said about law auricular, testamentary. We testify when, it's a hearing, and, it's very much we speak and we vibrate. In the beginning, there was the word and so forth. So, there's many great things that are out there that are intertwined, that have subtext, and they are actually related as well. We don't credit ourselves with enough. I don't know what it is. Respect, honor, and you've said it there. We could be a resource, a great resource. That's what these chats are, these hangouts, these documents and stuff. But I think there's a user, a scriber called Norman, that wants to ask a question or is saying something. So. Hello to Norman. Thank you. It looks like a new scriber there. I don't think we've met before.
Norman, do you mind if I call you Norm?
And we've got quite a lot of activity. 36 listening. I was going to wrap it up, but what are we saying? I've just got to scram up and see if there's anything from Norman. Look what I commented. It makes sense. I'm just going. Listen to the words, but don't take them for granted. Yeah, that's the etymology and the phonics that we do as a DJ. I'm phonetically now trained. We are all, in fact, you are all phonetics You are all Phoenicians then, because you deal with the audio every day. You make the audio, your vibratory vocal cords emulate. What I'm speaking now actually baffles me, because I'm not thinking about what I speak, but something's coming out my mouth and it's in a sentence and it seems intelligent and articulate, but I haven't got a script. So I could argue, like me and you, Matthew, how we interject, and Gumshoe, I know what you're saying earlier about that comment, is quite, you know, when you get into it and you do these like deep thoughts, and you can't fathom the unfathomable is what I come to.
That's right. Some of the stuff that I might say or you might say might go over people that, oh, do you know what I mean? But that's why I said about studying subconscious. But this isn't, do you know what I mean? I'm not telling you anything. This is just stuff I've absorbed and opinions I've formed through it. But my opinions don't matter for a shit. Do you know what I mean? If an engineer here, if you're saying I don't know what you're talking about, I can make a machine that does this. But yeah, you know what I mean?
We need a call in. Greg's saying we need to have a phone line and do call ins and get others. We need to. All right, then we'll get a unregistered SIM, and I'll promote a number through the with me and Matt. We could have me, you, and Andy on. We could get when Andy's about. We could have Dave, Andy, and Matt on the chat, and Dave, Andy, and Matt on the chat. Here we go. I'm already just freestyling it. Dave, Mandy, and Matt on the chat, and then others. Yeah, you just want to talk. Look, 1 minute, brother.
Like
breathe.
Say why they think it won't work.
Pardon?
Like the resource-based economy and why it won't work. That's what I'd like people to point out problems. Say that won't work.
Okay, yeah, not a problem. So we could have Dave, Andy, and Matt chat, and then we could have others ring up, scribers ring up, and then we could get them on, and we could have up to like 6, 8 on a single hangout then, and we could get others on the video. This could explode. That's a good idea. Yeah, we'll do some call-ins and get others on. I'll see if Andy's about, and then I'd like to have all three of us, because I've got love for. I don't know. Some people say, "Where's Andy? Why is Matt? Why don't you get?" And it's not about who is. Matt doesn't have. It's hard because you don't have the internet, and then sometimes you're about and Andy's about. Sometimes me and Andy do a chat. Sometimes I don't mind.
I'm a proper slave, and I don't have time, and that's what I mean. That's why if you look at them playlists, most of that I've watched all that. They're my playlists. You know what I mean? Dave put videos up and became the face of the chat. Do you know what I mean? But I was there from start. It was created partly because I was bombarding with Dave with too much fucking information, and I said to him about fucking not being able. I wish I could. I'm going to forget all this shit. And he was like, "Mate, just make a channel. You can put fucking." Do you know what I mean? And he sorted it out. So yeah, that's why it's not. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I've been here from the beginning. So whoever said that.
What? I don't know why he said that, but nice one. Yes, it's true. And we had another channel before that was shut down. We did well there. Had like 14,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
Sorry, dropped you.
We shouldn't have done. We didn't really know, did we?
Well, it wasn't. We did something we shouldn't have done. It was just the legal system, we'll say.
No, we didn't know, because I didn't know that you could just do playlists. I downloaded some of these.
It doesn't matter. We don't need to go down that route again.
It was just an innocent mistake, that's what I mean. And then as soon as the information came to our attention, we adapted. That's what I say about information, isn't it? You knew, fucking hell, you can't do that, can't you? I didn't know. Did you? No. Right. I'm not doing that. Oh, we can do that, though. Sweet. And that's where I did our playlist. Yeah, we're trying to do. Somebody thought we were trying to steal the glory. Long and short on it, isn't it?
There is indeed. Yeah, it is. What time is
it?
Sorry.
I was trying to bring glory to him. Misinterpretation.
All is good. All is well. It ends well. I'm looking at the chat room now. Jones.
That was funny. I saw a fly boat posting up. It posted up 5 different soldiers. It were 5 different posters side by side. Like you got your black one, Asian one. And it said underneath each one, are you the gamer, the such and such, the blah blah blah. Recruiting for fucking. You know what I mean? Recruiting fresh targets, fresh victims. So I say they should choose. That's who should choose to go to war. He says it in that book, General Smedley Butler. It's people that's going to fucking go and just get fucking bombed, tread on a landmine, and they're the only fuckers that should vote on war. Not no parliament, not no government. You know what I mean? Government should say we want to go to war, but they should fucking be one that says, you know what I mean? Well, it's us that are going to get killed. But then you've got armies now with that much superior fucking drone shit that they'll be like, yeah, I'll go in army. There's fuck all chance of me getting killed. Why? Because we don't go near anyone. Someone shoots at us, we just call in the fucking airstrike, and that lot's fucking levelled. Wherever they fucking that bullet came from, it gets levelled.
Stop swearing. You said effing word about 1 million times in this video.
No, it's because I brought up. I got dragged out of a room of 5 grown men because I was the youngest, and my brothers were already blokes, and I remember it well. My mother coming in and going, "What the?" Well, she didn't swear. She went, "What the heck are you doing in here?" And pulled me out of there because it was the opening scene of Beverly Hills Cop. After bit when he's hanging off at back at wagon and he goes back to the police station, and then his that bloke comes in effing and jeffing. I think there's more F's and Jeffs and MS in that short space of time. I think that's where
there was a lot in there. Yeah,
that and watching grown men, watching other grown men kicking a round football around the field, shouting effing Jeffing effing.
Andy 123 says top guy, Matt.
Oh, good, thank you, nice one. But yeah, I apologise for my language. I can't. Sometimes it just because it's subconscious, like you said about. You know what I mean? It's just coming out, but subconscious just slips in a few F's and Jeffs. But like I say, it's in all your TV anyway, so I don't know what anyone's bothered about. But I do try to curb it. I don't go into shops and say, "Give us a fucking packet of rolling tobacco," and I'll have a coffee. It's just like I say, frustration. Can't say up more than that. I'm a frustrated person, not a person. It's not a person.
Jonesy, I share your cynicalism with the 2020 and the alignment and the vision, but it was an interesting video for 48 minutes. It was a good one. It is worthy of sharing. It's got good info in it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yes.
But yeah, just people. If you do talk to any politicians, if you're the type of people that do talk to politicians, look at Fresco and all that. Take it to them. So, well, so this about why aren't? Have you seen this? Are you aware of this? No. Okay, then give them some time to absorb it. Then go back to them. Say, what are you going to say about that? Then poo-poo it, please. Poo-poo it. How are you going to poo-poo it? And they'll come up with so much bullshit that you'll be able to see straight through and go, "What, mate? You're right." That's what Fresco says. He says, don't listen to me. You go and talk to your politicians. Ask them questions, technical questions. If you're an engineer and you're listening to this, it's you that needs to go and put these on the spot. Because you know what's possible more than anybody. Because you know about engineering, you know how stuff, do you know what I mean? All the stuff that's new didn't exist. You know what I mean? All these key systems didn't exist. They've all come out of engineers and people's minds. So
the corporate gauge.
Nobody can tell me that, you know what I mean, will not progress. If the people that produced all this stuff that, yes, can be used against us and is being used against us, but could produce a world of abundance, if all them produce that, imagine if, like, and that's, I don't know, maybe 5%, they're not even probably 1% of the population of the planet. Oh, that's what I was going to say earlier, yeah. Little baby scientist, have a look at that. I think it's little 3-year-old baby or something. It's little baby toddler, 3-year-old, I think he is, eating his ready break or whatever it is at table, and his father or something, I don't know if he's his father, is arranging grapes on the table. And little kid, he's like, "What's that?" And he's like, "Borium." And he's arranging grapes in its atomic structure, and kids going, "That's lithium. That's borium." You know what I mean? And that same kid, you know what I mean? These kids all over the planet that can do exactly the same, but they don't know that information. They're just going, "That's SpongeBob." Who's that? Who's that? It's Mickey Mouse. It's Mickey Mouse. He's Mickey Mouse. It is Mickey Mouse. Oh, is he clever? No, that little baby's clever. because he's learning about the periodic and the elemental tables, you know.
Yeah, Yanka knows somebody at school. She's just turned 12, and a friend at school speaks 5 languages. Yanka knows Hungarian and English, and now she's still learning English because she's only been over here 3 years, so 4 years. And now she's learning French, so she's got 3 languages. She will have 3 languages under her belt, and I'm like, good Lord, the pressure that there's a girl there that speaks 5 fluently, and I'm like, what?
Pressure good.
It's just girl speaks 5 languages. Holy
being encouraged to learn. That's the best. You've still got that nerd mentality. What we had when we were thinking, "Oh, I don't want to be a nerd." Well, fuck that. Do you know what I mean? Where's all that come from? That's because you don't want people educated. That's why you don't promote in that. Otherwise, you'd be promoted in a different way.
Yeah.
Like he said, that was funny. There was a guy once left his kids. He had to bring his kids to work. I forgot where it were. Yeah. I think I was asking him if he liked maths and something, and he was like, I do, he don't. And another one went, I don't like maths, I struggle with something. And he goes, yeah, that's because you're dumb. That's because... And kid said it in sending it, it was really nasty, but it was just thingy. But he said, it's because you read comics and I read encyclopedias. And it was true what he said. He got relevant information to the world that he was living in. He got bullshit information that had no relevance to the world he was living in. There's nobody fucking called Spider-Man flying around here casting webs or Superman fucking saving women out of cars. Do you know what I mean? But all that information's in people's fucking heads.
Yeah, it's like Hollywood has an objective where they put we'll go Jennifer Lopez was a little Spanish housekeeping typecast, housekeeping Mexicana slave type, mundane tasks. You've got the Chinese always depicted with the cameras taking the pictures. Lest we not forget, they're really good with technology. They'll get you out the shit in a film. If there's you with a Chinese man, then he's going to be sorting out the electronics if there's ever a need, because they typecast them that way. The black guy normally dies first, does a bit of fighting, we'll say. There's normally a pretty girl in there, and then there's the blonde-haired, blue-eyed aspect of her that they always typecast in, with the tits and the smile and the sex that will be inevitable at some point. Soft porn will be coming. There's a little bit of the hero journey mixed in there with somebody that's probably going to die, and somebody else in there that's going to rival that, and it's just so predictable. And like I say, with the blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman, the tits and the sex and all of this stuff, we'll go Mila Kunis, and what was that film now? Fucking Friends with Benefits just said it all. I went, we've broke new horizons. They're spelling it out to you, and when I found out the true terminology of bondage and stocks and bonds and the commercial aspect and then the sexual aspect, I went, oh no, it's just like the laws, these words and what they've done with us, and the spell casting and the self-cursing that we're doing is our undoing, is our doing, by us being born unto the lie. So by that, we are at default innocent. Yes, I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, we are kind of sinning. I think Matt's gone. Matt, have you gone? He has. It's just us. No, he's here. He wants to chat. He wants more. He's hungry for more. Bedtime. We're going to bed soon. We are ending the chat soon. We'll get him back. Let's finish it properly. Sorry, Shadow. I didn't see your request until now. So, another time we'll get you on, brother. No problem.
Hello, sorry about that. Accidental compress.
It's all right. I'll just say we're shutting it down soon anyway. I was just going on about whatever I was going on about. You don't hear it because you went away, and it broke my train of thought. So there's no point trying.
No, we are. We're all biological computers, and we just program with stuff. That's why I do like the Professor somebody, Bostock, I think it might be, and the simulation theory. It's quite good. Very good.
We are programmed by Hollywood. That's what I was saying. And Game of Thrones and things, and the programming that comes out the media and the TV and the Netflix and the DVDs and belittling. They take these biblical stories and they get these demon magicians and God knows magicians and CGI and belittle the great stories that have been foretold, and they kind of confuse you and disconnect you from the source. And it's Columbia TriStar Pictures. That's quite an emblem in itself. These emblems that they have in the film. What happened with the Weinstein there, or whatever his name was, and the claims that come out of that, as if we didn't already know. It was there nicely confirmed for us, just so we can go, we told you so. We already knew that, but thanks for confirming it, you weirdos.
No, but everybody still keeps watching films and going to pictures and watching films and watching it all. But
yeah, they do.
What I'm about to say is Rockefeller. They all know that because Rockefeller funded a lot of China. Do you know what I mean? Built a lot of hospitals, done a lot of linking up and shit. And that's been a social experiment. All that paid for by Wall Street. But yeah, Jet Li said something in an interview once, and they run about him, why he became a very good martial artist, and he says, "Oh no," he says, "I could have been a very good footballer, and I could have been a very good thing." He says, "When we got to a certain age, they chose. They went, right, he's going to football, he's going to gymnastics, he's going to Shaolin, he's going to be..." It just so happened that he was in that group that got sent to Shaolin Temple. You know what I mean? That's why he was good at Shaolin. He got sent there and it got programmed into him. And that's why he was saying, do you know what I mean? If I'd have been sent at soccer camp, obviously if I wasn't good at thingy, then it would have been good at that. Just programming. It's all fucking programming. That's why I don't know much about computers and that, but what I've learned is... and I thought, yeah, it just seems to me like this could all just be some kind of mental simulation. I don't know. There's definitely a creator, 100%. You can't have this much information. You know what I mean?
Well, man didn't create mathematics.
What did he say? What did he say?
Man didn't create mathematics. We found that. And mathematics is there throughout the universe. The simple mathematics and the intricate mathematics is the universal. We're this side of the universe or at the other, it should make the sense. The quantum entanglement, the tetragrammons, the toroidal energies, and what we're seeing is like a whole new, because of the internet. It's not fair. We've had all this information dumped on us in the last 20 years. It is too much to process, and there is a lot of cack out there, but there are some proper good nuggets as well, what we're finding. It's been an amazing time to be alive.
If there were a glass with water in it, you'd presume that something made that glass that contained that water, and the water, you know what I mean? So what makes you think nothing made what you see in front of you?
Yeah, whatever. It's atoms. So, Tommy, we've looked at it. We've discovered it.
Everything green and brown and earthly is created by a creator, and everything else we've created. That's why we own it. Why we own it all.
For the YouTubers out there that want to surf and look at, there's a video called The Double Slit Experiment with Dr. Quantum, and it shows you that everything's made of atoms. And everything's made of atoms, and when an atom is watched, a particle of light, a photon to be exact, then it acts differently. And it can be a wave or it can be a pulse. And when it's watched, it acts different, and they couldn't get their head around it. But when you're doing a job and somebody watches you, and you've done that job a million times for a good 10 years, and you know it inside out, but when someone watches you, you just make a little mistake, it puts you on edge, you forget something, you do something you've never done before, and you're like, whoa, I don't know, I've sold my sleep. Because you act differently when you're watched, because you're made of these same things. And to be some extent, the Buddha was right. You can't ever own anything because they're all everything's made of atoms, and the atoms aren't ours. It's already here from creation. Yeah, you're right. It's left over from
everybody. Actually, there's a laws, but double slit is just the same as a computer game. When you're playing a computer game, computer's got to be ready for you to every move you're making. So it's got to have everything planned out. If you press jump now, it knows where to go. Code has to be written. All that code has to be written. I remember somebody trying to teach me code once, and it was just for a simple like board game, you know, like a simple with simple rules, not none of this shit. You know what I mean? It all has to be programmed and coded. Every reaction.
It's a sign of a divine intelligence. And then
can
when you
break that
realise, yeah, reality isn't just fictional debt and working and sleeping and, you know, paying fines and fees for having your boat in the wrong shipping lane, captain, you know, and you, wow, yeah, it's just, you know, the realities that are out there are multi-layered, and you're in many of them. You're in legal, lawful, and trust, all, you know, all many at the same time.
I ain't got nothing against the law system, the law thing. It's the product of this environment. This environment that needs changing. Do you know what I mean? Then you don't need that shit no more. It's just an headache.
It's no more than an headache. Man's committing suicide, and families are splitting up. There's tenants popping up. The streets, the cities are getting dirty. There's rats growing up. We're going back. We are in a devolution state right now, and it's getting worse. It's like the quality is going down. The hospitals can't get medicine. The GPs can't get medicine. They're paying 5 times the amount. Everybody's usurping this economy except us. We are the source, we are the principle and the surety, you know, we are the principle and the debt. We have got both technologies. We're not just the debtor, we're not just the sinner, we are the actual saviour, the creator, the one that can, you know, stand there and correct something with the will of man, not the will of the people, but the will of man. And the will of man is stuck in a face in a phone, and you're looking on Facebook for every eternal answer and communication, and it's just, I'm very worried. I'm very worried about that. Zuckerberg's done something very crafty there. He's taken his advantage of billions of people, and they've sucked into it. If me and you made a website, Matt, and we took all these information from our scribers and that, I'm sure we'd end up in jail, prison, federal, whichever.
Well, he said it's not. It's a federal thingy. It's not Mark Zuckerberg, the fucking thingy. Don't believe the Hollywood film. It's a fucking purpose-built thing. That bloke says it. Who is it? George Carlin or something. He says if you had a fucking government car driving around neighbourhoods with a fucking camera on it, taking pictures of everyone's houses and all fucking roads and all the streets and everything, people would go out and smash shit out in it. He says fucking paint it white, put Google on it, everyone's waving. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. If they'd have asked for where you go on holiday snaps, pictures, you know, information and personal information about your life and your ins and outs and that, you'd have said fuck off. And they dress it up as it's always this entrepreneur and all this Facebook social network and yeah, right.
All right.
Whatever. I'm glad I never bought into it. I'm right, so fucking glad.
It was inevitable. They did say when the internet was invented, not that I don't know, in the 71 or something when it was invented, but when it got popular, mainstream, easily accessible, home computing went down in price, and there was more. You were more able to get modems and dial-ups and mess about on them. And you know,
people didn't know the information that they know now.
It was frowned upon to go on the internet, and it was said you're only going on there to chat with girls or to get games or whatever it was. Just the internet was viewed as a negative place, and what they've done, they've commercialized it within our lifetime, glorified it, and put so much monetary value upon it on these commercial shops and things that you can do using these international codes and accounts and stuff, that it's just truly incredible because none of it's real. It's just all just digital, crazy, make-believe, giving life to the fictions. None of it's actual real. Except us, we're real.
And the soul is all you have. On the faith, you come with it and you go with it. Protect it. Don't sell it or sacrifice it.
Yeah, you can't take stuff with you.
It's the only thing you have to protect your soul, and it's the only thing that you're not really made aware of in such a way. So you're made aware of your soul, but then you get spit at you saying, if you don't come to church, and if you don't go to Moscow, if you don't go to, you know.
Yeah, there used to be a golden visa application run here by the United Kingdom government where you could get a visa application speeded up depending on how much money you could donate. But that scandal and campaign and thingy has been stopped some years ago. The police
rerouted.
Oh wow, it's just unbelievable what you find out's gone off. And
they train in private military schools in England. Dictators, fucking soldiers. Some of the most roughest, nastiest bastard regimes. Their fucking officers ain't gone up through. You know what I mean? They came to England to learn that shit.
Allegedly, 29 scientists have died in a laboratory experiment where some AI soldiers went rogue and killed the 29 Japanese scientists. Did you hear about that, Matt?
Of course, awesome. I went out of the day with dog running down the road. Must be one of them. No, it's probably just scared mongering. Everyone's trying to make you scared. But I will say one thing: they are building robots that will kill you.
Robots.
It's as simple as that. It's whether you fucking sort shit out now.
It's a million F word.
It don't matter. So the message is the point. The point is in the message. If you don't fix up and you know sort your things out, you can have robots, machines that do things that they're made to do, like lift things we can't lift, do jobs that we don't want to do things that we don't want to do, and that'll be all right. And they'll be programmed to do that, and that's what they'll be built to do. But in this system, the one that everyone seems to love, be happy with, these things will have guns put in their hands, and these admiralties and admiralties and the offence and thingy, they won't have a soul or a conscience. They will do exactly what they're told to do. Who do you think's going to program them? And what do you think they're going to do?
I was looking at some, just to wrap it up on, just to wrap it up.
When you've got a robot bailiff at your door. No, I'm just saying, that's where it'll go. You won't be able to stop it.
I was watching a video about organic powered AI robots, and they go around scooping up battlefields and stuff. And they are powered with the
waste. I was off at dead bodies.
I was like, this can't be real. It's surely a hoax. But it's not. It's not a hoax. There is technology out there that is powered by organic matter. And I'm like, this technology should be banned right now. This is like Terminator meets something. I don't know. I can't even explain it.
I told you about it. We're on new robots. I look at technology all the time. That's what
you did say something again.
People need to look at technology. Do you know these short 10-minute videos? There's loads of them, and it'll say latest manufacturing robots or such and such, and you just get an insight into what's possible, what people are building, what's coming out of people's heads at this present time. Do you know what I mean? A lot of them, they're like promotional videos. But, you know, it's what they do when they do crowdfunding and Kickstarter.
Yeah.
It's like a compilation of different, you know what I mean? So some of them will be just like a household gadget. Some of them will just blow your mind. You're like, fucking hell. Some of them are just bullshit and you think, oh, we don't need that. That's what I say. Not all technology is good. It's how, if it's not applied to the betterment of mankind, then it's just tons and tons of junk, to quote Fresco. Just junk. All your cars that you see around here are fucking junk.
They just rot. They go rusty. I can't believe you buy such an expensive item and it will go rusty. And you're like, but you've paid thousands. You could make that so it doesn't go rusty. I'm sure you could.
I saw an accident yesterday.
Wait, because Formula One, as we've said, Formula One, when they change a tyre, they change it at the fastest they can. So they don't put 65 bolts on the wheel. They put one motherfucking big one. And they whack it on and off, don't they?
Take it on and off.
And that's it. But what do they do to us? They put loads on for us and they make it. And it's just the way that the system's designed. If we had to take our iron horses to the garage every year since manufacturer for 7 years for a service for free, included in the price, and if it got rusted, they'd have to deal with it. If it got a problem, they'd have to deal with it. Any problem for 7 years. I'm telling you now, they'd make them a lot better and they wouldn't rust and they'd be just like that kind of, you know what I mean?
3 levers.
We've talked about this before. Yeah, they make stuff. They make stuff to break. It is actually true. I found out. I heard they make stuff to break, and after a certain time, and I'm like, no. But it turns out I think they do. They do actually do this. Yeah.
You go to university to learn how to build the best thing that man can churn out, and then you go to work for somebody that fucking this is you know what I mean? They go to work for people that tell them to make it like, you know what I mean? And they put planned obsolescence in it. You know what I mean? It'll last fucking forever. I don't want it to last. You know what I mean? What do you mean? All they'll have to do is change that every 20 years. Fuck that. No, 2 years. I want that fucker to last and break.
And
can buy
food,
another one.
they take they take organic
planned,
nice food and then they put it in a plastic pot and put chemicals in it and go, now it's dead. Here, eat that.
There's a subject for people, planned obsolescence, and what other one now? Fucking. Oh, it's just.
Well, what's planned obsolescence?
That's that. When they make things rubbish on purpose.
Oh.
And the other one was it was linked to that. No. Oh, why does this go blank sometimes? Must be Wi-Fi. Oh, no. And obsolescent. Well, can't remember the one. As soon as it'll come back. Okay. But yeah, planned obsolescence. Oh yeah, cyclical consumption. Because it's hand in hand. We've got to keep buying, otherwise this shit stops. That's why they're balancing. It's a fine balance. They've got to create some nasty war coming. There's some nasty war coming because just to distract people, just so they can have a little reset and because they're making machines and automating stuff and putting people out of work, and they've got to find things for us to do, like go and kill people.
No.
Otherwise, Gaussian curve. That's what I want a t-shirt. Gaussian curve. Here we come. I'm just waiting for the Gaussian curve. Because our system is built on people paying in and people taking out. And when there's more people taking out than there is people paying in, tits up.
Well, there's about 7 families taking out, and the billions on the planet then feeding them.
I'm just talking about the social system. I'm not about the social system. They're just taking. Then they're just parasitic. Yeah, the actual what we live under in England.
What I would like to do in the meantime, in this limbo of neither life nor death, this kind of middle area, if you'd like, where we're neither halfway up nor halfway down, is I'd like to continue with I've got a personal mission to try and build a reserve bank of sovereigns, and I'm not talking gold coins, just decent, honourable, righteous, that's the mission here, with a heart, with a soul, with a conscience that want to educate, learn more, help others, build a community and spread the information. That's ultimately what this entertaining chat has been about tonight. I just want to end it on, that's our goal here. That's not a target, because military have targets, as we've said about words and the use of. We have, not even a mission. No, it's not a mission. It's not an objective. The same as we don't occupy. Because wow, again, go on.
I don't know what you call it. I don't want to. I'll still use words, like mission. I'm on a mission to spread the word. I'm on a proper mission.
Oh no, I'm just saying it. It's just
my belief in that. Yeah, about my belief, and that's it. Because I can't,
We speak Babel at all times. We're not speaking. We're not in the judicial realm. We're not trained. We're not licensed. We're not using anything but Babel at all times.
There's this Babel, isn't it?
Yeah. Corruption.
The ultimate language is, it's all open to interpretation, but it's the ultimate language is blueprint. Engineers, blueprint.
369.
Who was that? What was it? Ford Fiesta. I think that's a European or an Anglo-European, American European company, Ford, isn't it? And they sold the plan. Because I remember being in traffic once and saw a Ford Fiesta and it had a Mazda badge on it, and I thought, that's very funny. Someone's silly pilly to put Mazda badges on the Ford Fiesta. Why would you do that? And then I saw a few others and I thought, that's weird. And then I spoke to somebody and they said, oh yeah, Ford sold designs, to Mazda. And Mazda produced a car. There was a Ford Fiesta, but it wasn't a Ford Fiesta, it was a Mazda. But point being, they'll have just sent them the blueprint, and they just that factory just turned a different language, Japanese, you know what I mean, English, and they just sent them blueprints, and they'll have pretty much
Science
the same
doesn't
thing.
have. Yeah, if you send if you send 100 scientists a formula of a chemical equation, and these 100 scientists are on different countries around the world, um, they will make the exact same scientific formula as what's there because it's a yeah, universal language that's interpretable accurately by all that read it using that method. But what we've got is a non-defined use of Babel that we don't really know where we stand with very much of it. You know, and it's down to interpretation, some of it. And that's where a lawyer and the legal system come in because often two parties don't see eye to eye and there's all this grey area. And you need somebody to come in and translate and handle your affairs for you, don't you? And it's like, oh, of course I do. Yeah, this is all normal. Everybody does this. It must be normal. Everybody does it. But if we all go on, it's so normal, everybody does it, then before long, you know, I hope there's not a big trend that comes up because you're not forcing me to do it because everybody does it. You know, they can't order followers. It was an order. The same for them. That's who we appeal to as well. For them to, these whistleblowers are legendary. God on them, the whistleblowers. You know what they're saying and what's coming out now. There's loads of them. These consciences are cracking. It's truly incredible. Not just in the mainstream media, but the little bits that I'm hearing and stuff. There's a lot happening, brother. There's a lot happening out there. There is resistance. Viva la resistance. Yeah, but we don't.
I
You know.
resist. I resist every day. Every day I wake up and I resist. I'm doing, but it's just everybody. You've got to do. Everyone's got to do it.
When I say resist, I mean resist the sin. That's right, everyone. Resist the to doing the sin. Whatever you view as a negative would be a sinful action, a sinful, a sine wave. It comes down again to
Oh, when you study
teachings and
all this stuff, you find out that our fucking basically our way of our way of life is all fucking. It's just yeah. It's not going to bring no good for
natural.
us.
It's not very natural, is it? Is
No,
what I'm trying to
it's
say. It's
just
not natural. It's
well,
sinful because it's not
our country is
natural.
living off ill-gotten gains that it got off the entire world. So we can't. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah, stuff's.
Artifacts, pillars from Egypt, gems from Ruby, stones from Egypt, Scotland, God knows where. There's loads of weird bits that shouldn't be here. Yeah, in the National History Museum, in the vaults, I dread to think the catacombs of X, Y, and Z. Yes, very interesting. What's been brought up and yeah, the history. The sun never sets on the empire, does it now? But it has done. The
Oh yeah,
Commonwealth,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
You have
let me
yeah,
finish.
you
The
do.
Commonwealth has somewhat taken a battering over the last few years as other you know, ex Commonwealth countries have got their independence and sought for sovereignty in effect and broken free of it. It's credit to them. You know,
Well,
they've seen a demise in their wealth, their commonwealth, and I've seen that they're trying to substitute that loss in the shrinkage of that commonwealth in other areas. Look, but you know, I didn't say that.
now I just realised the whole place where I'm living, everything, right down to how we dispose of rubbish, everything. It's all fucking just shit, tits, and knackers.
Well, when you find out that there's been a recycling campaign, and if you don't put if you dare squash your bottle and put it in your bin, and they see it, they say we're not taking your waste because you've squashed the bottle. And when we recycle, we like them to be whole, you know, and you know it takes up your bin takes a 500% less bottles if you leave them whole. It's really inconvenient for the recycler because you need to take the air out to get more in
Inconvenient
them.
for them,
Yeah,
but
but yeah,
it's
so you know, to find out
good
that
for the
we're doing
economy
all of
because it.
this, we're doing all of this, and we find out on the news that England's been sending it, the United Kingdom, sorry, corporate body, empire, you know, corporation has been sending it to China and places, and they've just been dumping it in the river, and it's ended up in the ocean. tons and tons and tons of
Yeah,
our
that's what
precious recycled plastic. And
about
who's responsible for that? You know, who's going to pay for that? And then we eat the fish that's got the plastic
our
in. You
children
eat the
and our
fish,
children's
you eat the
children.
fish with the microplastics inside it, and everyone's crying. And you get David Attenborough bringing you the Great Blue Planet that's now dying. And it's like, well, yeah, we've seen that, we know about that, but nobody can hold anybody accountable. It seems we've lost the
Oh, we've seen
ability.
that, David, but
Yeah.
why aren't you fucking pointing out the fact of why it is? You know what I mean? Because we're
Money,
lousing
it's
up
all
the
money. It'll
environment
be money
and we're
again.
not fucking
It'll always
doing
be
it
money.
about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
We're fucking charging people 5 pence for a bag because it's made of oil and it doesn't degrade, but you can make it a fucking vegetable matter and it's biodegradable. So why? What? Oh no! But here's what I was going to say was I heard the old Rule Britannia song again, and I hated it. I used to hate it because it said about slaves, like we will never be slaves, but it's all right to make other people slaves. And then I thought about all patriotic British people that sing that we will never, never, never be slaves, or whatever it fucking goes by. And but they actually are. It's quite a comical song when you're. It just shows your perspective. Perspective I'm looking at is fucking piss funny because they are slaves.
We are, yeah.
Singing a song that says we won't be slaves, but you're a slave.
To money, to law.
How can a slave sing that they're not a slave? How's that possible?
You're a slave to money, to law, to debt. We're slaves to multiple. What they've done to us,
You're a
drugs.
slave,
Let me think. Yeah, but I'm just saying, let's analyze it though. In reality, it's money, it's drugs, it's debt, it's it's law, it's public code, it's public liability. If you don't know the rules, ignorance is no defense, lest we not forget. Just because you don't know doesn't mean to say that you're not in trouble. Oh, thank you for that. How many rules have you got? Well, really, we've got millions. So I need to know all the millions of. Well, yes, you do really, because if you don't know all the millions of rules, then you're going to break one and you'll be in trouble. Well, where are they to learn? Well, they're all on a website .gov.uk. What the fuck? So 26 million statutory codes I need to digest and read and learn in order to keep my ass out of jail or prison, fine and forfeit free. Yes, off you go. I say no to that, Matt. I say no thanks.
No to it.
No consent. No consent.
Resource-based economy instead.
Yeah, no consent to that crazy cuckoo. What mushrooms were you smoking when you made that up? Who agreed to that? Have we agreed to this? Ah, yes. Well, indirectly. Yes. Yes, you have agreed, but indirectly agreement. Tacitly. It's tacit agreement, we call it. So we haven't agreed, but we have agreed. Yes, it's fuckery. Tacit fuckery.
I'm presuming that, that these travel websites are all automated and that they're given the information updated, who's checking in and who's checking out automatically, and it'll be all like automated and that. So when you're booking, it tells you what's available due to what it's been told. And that's the same process for how you'd live in a resource-based economy, because all housing would be everybody's. Do you know what I mean? If you wanted to live in the same place, design your own, whatever. But if you wanted to travel, you just go on there and you basically just ask computer what you know what I mean, wherever you wanted to go. Is there anywhere available in Portugal, wherever you want to go? Bahamas. You know what I mean?
You've heard of Wife Swap? This is Life Swap.
You'd have ocean cities for marine biologists or people that like to study that stuff. They'd live in, you know what I mean, big ocean cities.
Yeah.
Telling you.
Let's wrap it up anyway. I want to go to bed. I've got to get cracking on. I've got servitude tomorrow, my son.
I have. Concrete don't lift its sin. Ooh.
Here we're going. I'm going to shut it down, brother. We're shutting it down. I'll speak to you tomorrow. It's midnight. I ran over my time limit.
All right then.
But thank you. It has been fun. Nice one for joining the family.
Oh, nice one.
And effing and jeffing. Truly unique style.
It's me. I'm not going to change for another day. I can't. Well, I'm going to change some aspects of myself, and I do apologise if anybody is offended and preferred if I spoke like this, or perhaps like, some kind of etiquette and trying to control and, I hear people swearing all the time. You know what I mean? Every day.
Yeah, the world out there is quite brutal. It's harsh.
It's just if someone's listening on the laptop and there's family members, then sometimes we try and keep it clean. But we recognise, everyone listens on to things on all different places. I know, but it just accidents happen, don't they? And it's all good. It's all real. We are real.
Told me
We
you
aren't
said
actors.
do not swear.
No, we know this, but thank you, Nonna and room scribers, Famalan.
Well, just tell everyone I've got some kind of swear Tourette's. He has to slip it in. You should see it when he writes a letter.
Thank you, Jonesy. We love you. Thanks for the feed, he says. So I think he's talking to us. Thanks for the video. Brilliant. Yeah, even, not feed. Norman, good to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you to everyone.
Peace and love.
Who disagrees or agrees.
Having a nice chat. It's been very active. There's got to be hundreds of comments here, hundreds of hours of video watch. So it has. We do make a difference, and others do go off, and there are splinters and manifestations and seeds planted and thoughts, and it's amazing. We're all connected, even though we're not, even though we've never met each other. We're all still connected on that whatever it is that what connects all them atoms, because we're made of atoms. So we all use this auricular vibratory sequencing. So yeah, the grand masters know this, and now we know it, and now we've got to decide what we're going to do with it all. But it's just been an amazing amount to comprehend and talk about and manage, and yeah, it is fun though. But I do need to sleep.
Oh, I'm off.
My batteries have gone. But thank you, everybody. Much love, Matthew. Respect, peace and love, bro.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Mickey Finn. Chin chin, Mickey Finn.
Laters, Beanie.
Ciao, Bello. Keep it mellow.
I will.
Yeah, I know.
Hello. Chin chin. Right, in a bit, hanging up.
All right, then. See you later. Thank you. Let's do this.
Everybody be blessed. Chin chin.
Yeah, no. There we go. He doesn't come out much. He's got a lot to say in a short time, but like I say, I did meet him when I was about 14, 15, and he saved my ass from the perils of the natural realm outside of nastiness. So yeah, it was all good. It was all good. We have nothing but love, but we do have a unique relationship, yeah, and we are very much alike in each and every way. Similar age, different star signs, but yes, thank you very much. It's been fun. All topics discussed extensively. Thank you for everything. Much love to you all. Ciao for now.